stream. We're going to be starting momentarily, but we're just waiting for people to arrive.
It's the loading screen. It's the loading screen. I can't believe this cartoon is just all the loading screens.
Oh yeah. Is that little icon thing you put in the chat gonna be in the Roll20? Is there a way to see that? Because that was neat.
No, that's that's for the
That's going to be on the stream.
Twitch chat.
The
Neat.
Twitch overlay. I do have a new overlay that I'm ready to unveil today. Hopefully it works.
You can update the stuff real time?
No, I cannot.
Oh.
It has a bunch of information there, but it does not update in real time. It's just there for people's reference that are watching and new to the campaign. Like if they want to know who's who, what you are, how good you are at stuff in general. It's stats that will not change very often as well.
Especially in this system. 5th edition doesn't do stat changes very often.
Yeah.
Wait. I leveled up, but I don't think my health went up.
Your health didn't go up. Oh, of course,
Yeah.
I immediately need to change something now. Not gonna. I also did physically level you up because your character was still, like, level 9.
Yeah. It wasn't really relevant
Yeah.
about that.
So I just upped it because I was like, hey, wait, he says level 9, but he's got more than 64,000.
Yeah, the only thing I needed to do was roll for my HP. But I think I was just going to take the average, because I've been doing bad with the rolls.
Yeah.
That warlock,
You're
though.
the second low. Yeah, you're the second lowest. Just take the average. Don't be greedy. Oh, speaking of greedy, like when I was like the doing like a potential replacement character if Amon doesn't come back, and one of the things I was just juggling with was Strength 8, Dex 8, Con 8. Everything else 15. It's like, let's see how how badly things go.
So you're like a clumsy person with some sort of weird muscle deficiency.
I was just gonna play as like just a hoity-toity rich girl type thing. It's just like yeah, whatever. I do what I want. It's like, oh no, I'm wearing a dress. I'm tripping into everything. It's like, you could wear pants. No, gotta wear a dress, and that's why the dex save is 8.
Nice. Yeah, I
So-
haven't really seen any of your new character ideas, to be honest.
By the way, the average for HP is just half of whatever the hit die is, right?
Plus your con, plus 1, pretty much.
Yeah, it's average plus 1. So if it's like a D8, it's 5 plus your con or whatever.
Oh hell yeah! Then I'm taking the stupid D8 or the average because it's a D10, so that'd be 5 plus 7. Okay, yeah, I'll get 8 hit
No,
points.
no, it'll
That's
be
much
6
better than what
plus
I've been
7.
rolling. 6 plus 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's average plus 1.
Because technically the average is like a 0.5, so they round it up. Also, so it feels better.
Yeah, just so it feels good. Like if I'm doing like a kind of like a multi-level character from scratch, then I'll roll in a batch because rolling is fun. But in a 1-to-1 level, like it's kind of miserable. You're like, hey, I finally leveled up, yay, yeet, and then you get a 1, and you're like, oh, why didn't I take the average? How I wish I didn't squish that fish.
Yeah, my aura of protection didn't get added on. I think the reason I didn't level up was I was debating if I wanted to do something dumb like multi-class, but I'm like, you know what? That's too silly, and it takes too long to level at this point for me to want to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've always people talk about, like like you can do like this build with multi-class. It's like, yeah, that's only viable if you're doing a multi-level character from the scratch. Like getting to that build in the middle of a build is miserable.
Because you have to kind of change all your stuff and kind of be nerfed for a few levels.
Because you're doing for the later investment, and that's assuming that your later investment doesn't mean crap if your character doesn't survive the first session.
Yeah, how do I add Aura of Courage to my stuff?
You have to type it in manually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how Roll20 works. You can't just drag it in.
But you can do that for spells.
Yeah, you can do it for spells, but spell or class features are not a thing you can drag in. I think maybe you can if like I had the player's handbook like virtually, but I don't think so otherwise. But yeah, you can just type it in and copy and paste from like an external source. It's just text. Just waiting on the boom crash.
I've been here for like 2 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
I didn't
We
want
were
to
st-
interrupt.
We were still waiting. It doesn't change the fact. Make yourself known.
Okay.
All right. Well, now that everyone is here, last time on the Dorkvision stream, y'all returned from the Underdark. Then-
Some of us.
Some of us, one less so. Our poor resident flaming crocodile, the cleric Amon. But you guys arrived in a vintner's hideout of sorts. They escorted you out blindfolded. Mao was able to sneak a little peek at some of the stuff there on the way out, but you were shooed off to the Unicorn's Cask topside in Allure. Whereupon you guys spread out and started doing some catching up on stuff. You deposited Amon at the local church, the Church of Hieronius, to get him resurrected. Upon returning, you found out that there was a slight problem as he was doing the exorcist floating above the tablet and spewing out spiritual guardians. Mao was able to slap some sense into his dead body
Of course.
and bring him back to death. The church informed you that they were going to need to cast a more powerful spell, and they were having questions as to whether or not they should resurrect this dark entity. But that beside, you guys...
What's the worst that could happen?
You guys met with your trekking friends at the Three Ravens, where you guys are now. So, you guys head into the Three Ravens. It is hopping as usual. It looks like the local wait staff, or the bartender has hired a wait staff. They've always been short-handed, as you knew, but nowadays they seem to have a bunch of people flitting about throughout tables, bringing beers and food to everybody. Ostrich, Juliana, Rizzo, and Peggy are all sitting at a table where you guys come down to join them. Amon's spirit is sitting outside, just looking in the window creepily.
Goes to Christmas past. I mean, future.
But spirit, can they see me? So yeah.
Protect good and evil. Do I sense an evil spirit?
No. There are no evil spirits here. Just Boom Crash. And Mel.
Oh,
And now,
and
yeah.
cheap booze.
How much evil do I sense?
Oh,
Since it's very cheap.
it's a low amount of evil. It's fairly tame on the evil scale, considering things. So, you guys go and sit down. A waiter comes by to see you guys and ask you guys what you're having. Ostrich kind of like holds their hand up and goes, just a pitcher for the table, a few pitchers for the table. And then the waiter kind of looks at him and goes, hey, you tracking mud in here? I have to clean this place up, you know.
I give them a side eye and I'm like, you done?
I will tip, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're fine. I'll
Listen,
prestidigitate and clean everything up. Like, relax. Let us just have an evening.
cleaning up is part of your duties. Some people are just dirtier than others. I'm sorry, I cannot be
Ostrich,
anymore.
don't be sorry for yourself. Tell them to shut up and just go away.
I don't want to. Okay, fine, shut up, go away. Get this our, get this our beer.
There you go.
We are thirsty. The waiter just kind of like looks at all you guys and just he shuffles off into the crowds.
I'm just anytime that might happen, I'm just gonna start like putting my hand on my dagger. I'm just gonna be like, "You want some shinies, or do you want like the coin version of it? Because I can stab you."
So, what have you guys been up to in the past day? We've just been taking care of some business and looking forward to tonight.
Look at this! Look at this! And I whip out my new wand.
what is that?
Something that I commissioned before we went into the Underdark. It took a few months to finish, but it's done now, and it's so shiny and pretty.
Juliana's bat familiar Giblet leaps up onto the wand and starts like sniffing it. Oh wow, this looks powerful. What does it do?
Let me look it up. Wand of Permafrost. So Snowball Storm and Erupting Earth.
Ooh, that sounds powerful.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of times to use it if you're gonna keep doing work for the Vintners.
Yep, something to be excited about, and hopefully it means that I'll be better prepared and less likely to lose my very powerful magical artifact to a bunch of fucking drow.
Speaking of vintners, why the fuck do they have demon shit down there?
Demon shit? Look, they've been doing weird stuff like that for a few months, I think. They've been allying with some strange group, some cult or something. But it mostly stays down below, in the just in their main regions, I think. Particularly in the stink house there.
So it's not like those guys run the show then, it's just a for hire sort of thing.
I think they're just mercenaries. Some, you know, as a wizard might conjure an elemental, demons are just easier, I guess, for some people. I don't really know the logistics. They gesture at, like, Juliana, and she's just like, well, demon summoning is its own thing. It's far beyond me, I'm afraid, but,
It's its own specialty.
yeah, it's its own thing. It requires a lot of evil stuff going down. It's not something I'd particularly be fond of.
I'm a little bit too chaotic in temperament for it. It takes a certain kind of person.
Rizzo's like, well, I don't really mind. I mean, these people, they pay me well. So I'm gonna keep doing, like, potions and poisons for them. As long as I get to continue my research, I don't really care what they do.
Yeah, you saved our bacon multiple times there, Rizzo, so thank you.
Oh yeah, several breakthroughs. If I get a chance to go back down there, well, maybe I'll think twice about going back down there, but maybe with a group.
Maybe with a shorter trip would probably be better.
Shorter is probably better, but that region is full of interesting things. I got so many notes. What about you guys? Did you get a lot of good stuff out of that mission? Oh yes, that reminds me. And Ostrich takes out several pouches and hands them to you guys. I was able to convince them that your cleric friend was still alive, and he pats the fourth satchel.
I mean, we could hold on to it for him.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure this gets put to
Party
good use
bank.
somehow.
Party bank, give it to me.
You guys are handed 3 satchels filled with 500 each platinum pieces.
Sweet.
Yes.
500 platinum
500
pieces?
platinum pieces each, so 5,000 gold
Whoa.
pieces each is essentially what that is.
Very
I'm gonna
nice.
put this in the item part. It's just a satchel of 500 platinum. Cool.
Yeah, essentially.
And remember,
Ah,
it's a non-taxable income. Uh-huh.
Yes, you do not
Okay.
want to be taxing this
Amon's pay
a month's pay.
500 platinum pieces. Okay, I have it in my satchel, so
What are you guys gonna get with your shares? Peggy says.
um,
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I just wanted the money and to kill things.
I mean,
and you
it's
got
a,
your fancy bow.
It's a big amount.
Shh, don't tell them they're gonna want to look at it. Shush.
I
Okay.
mean, sometimes just getting better items is all that this is good for.
Ostrich kind of like looks Mao's back up and down. New bow, you say? May I take a look?
Sure.
Be
Don't
proud of it.
let go of the drawstring. And I hand him the bow. No arrows, no nothing. Just pull.
It's very
and release.
warm. They kind of like look around and then like kind of bend down next to like the table in the shadows and then like pull back the drawstring. And they see like the flame come out and the smoke start rising up. He goes, ho, 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 and he like brings the drawstring back to neutral.
I'm definitely gonna share in the moment. Like Mouse is also being like, like eyebrows raising, like super nerdy about it.
Peggy goes and like waves away the smoke and just kind of like looks at some passerby. Sorry, we'll smoke outside. Don't worry.
It also glows, but you know what? That one's weird. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. There's a belt that I've been looking at, but I still want to ponder over it for a little bit longer before I decide to buy it.
Fashion or function?
Oh, function.
Both?
I mean, yes, both, but
Both?
mostly function, because who would expect piddly little me to punch like a fucking orc?
Oh, a belt of giant strength? I've heard of those, Juliana says.
Yeah, they're a little bit pricey too, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Why I'm thinking about it, but also we don't necessarily know how much it's going to cost to maybe resurrect him on, or maybe hire someone else to join our little thruple.
Hey,
Haven't you
maybe
guys resurrected him yet?
No.
It was
There
a
have been
minor
some
complication. Turns out he's a cleric, but the gods aren't too pleased or something.
He's a little too edgy for the church, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes back or not. I hope he does.
I
Just
mean,
a
if he
little
doesn't, he gets the money,
non-denominational
right?
infighting.
Did you polish your armor, by the way?
Me?
Yeah, it looks a bit shinier.
Only a little bit. I took an actual bath. It was kind of nice.
Oh. If you could probably play that outfit up, if you get it all nice, they might think you're a leaf crown or something.
Fair enough. As I said, spending spending money on items is sometimes the best bet. Makes a job easier the next time.
Well, tough decisions need to be made. Well, I'm going to buy something with my share of the wealth, Peggy says. Barty was actually able to, he was so impressed with my artifice work down there that he's actually decided to invest in me as a
Ooh.
person. So he gave me some of his share, and he pointed out a shop in Allure that was up for grabs, and I think I'm gonna start making clockwork on the reg.
Oh, fuck yes. Where are you going to be? We'll happily come in.
Oh,
well,
it's somewhere in the like lower district in the southern end of Allure, but it's not much, but it's something that I could probably deal with. It'll probably be a few months before I get it up and running and all that. But I'm really excited. I got to come up with like stuff to sell, like some common items or something I can make.
Your
That
bow,
would be
your crossbow would be amazing.
awesome.
Oh yeah, this baby was a little difficult to create. It only seems to work when I infuse it with my own magic. Maybe I can try and create something that'll work for others.
But hey, whatever works, and we'll be happy to support you. And southern end, so you mean around here? A little bit in this region?
Yeah, it's a little north of the Three Ravens. It's in like the sort of shadowy drag over there.
Okay.
It's a lower kind of what do you call it? It's a poor district. I'm just gonna not mince words.
Dude, cheap rent, and I mean, you're fine, dude. I get it.
I know you'd
Just
think with the
wanna know.
war they would be like freezing rent and mortgages and stuff, but I guess not.
I mean, that would make
Yikes.
sense, but people are assholes, so whatever.
Well, what are you guys planning on doing? Later, I guess. Juliana says.
None of your business.
I'm just curious. Well, I'm probably going to try and keep doing work for the Vintners, but, I don't know. I've always thought that I was just sort of meant for the Vintners because nobody else can stand me, but if there's a way I can get out, I would like to.
Hey, I like working with you. I think you're awesome.
Well, thank you, my
Agreed.
dear.
Yeah.
I'm...
You know, maybe we can just make our own little thing and just take over the Vintners or work with the Vintners or who knows.
take
mean-
over the
Also,
Vintners.
other mercenary work
Good
that
one.
isn't necessarily Vintners related, though.
I mean,
That's true.
a
I
lot of
could
us
get
are
out and,
freelancers.
maybe I'll go over to Gimjin's mercenary group and see if they have something that's non-Vintner related. It won't pay as well, but with this, and he holds up his own satchel, it should be able to last for a while.
The real question is, are you guys? You heard about the war, right? You guys thinking about staying in Allure this whole thing out, or?
I mean, as
Decent
long as the
out or anything?
Vintners keep paying, Rizzo says. And I gotta start this shop thing going on. And Juliana says, I'd like to, I guess, continue my studies. The Vintners have sort of taken me in, but that last mission was very dangerous. I don't know if I want to go out again. I kind of like it here in the walls of Allure. Even if there is a war that's brewing, it probably won't ever reach our walls. I mean, what are the chances of that?
I mean,
I
we
mean-
did basically open up some sort of connection. Who's to say the enemy isn't thinking of something like that?
Well, these walls have not
walls
been
are
burst
very
in
good.
decades, except by that dragon way back when. But that was a
Yeah.
dragon, not war.
Plus,
I mean-
you can go under and over walls.
This is true.
Okay, so walls are great unless you have a siege, but guess what?
Mm.
There's a back exit in Allure to the Underdark.
Ah,
That's
a
fair.
war would
You
not
guys-
go in through the Underdark. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. So we have an escape route. We already know that at least a lot of us can definitely survive. So this is pretty much an ideal scenario. It's good to hunker and stay in for now. See what happens.
I
If
guess
there is a
that's true.
siege, then you can figure it out.
Yeah,
Mm.
here's probably best. I'd
For
like to
now.
get out and explore things, but maybe I'll go see in the Dark Gate and see if there's adventurers down there or something.
That's true. You could always find a little bit of a safer quest down in the Underdark and get paid again.
Yeah.
That way you could just kind of see if this whole thing blows over anyway.
Maybe something less stressful than Vintners, but still high adventure.
Yeah.
That sounds more like me. Perhaps I will go down there. Thank you for helping me with my thought process.
Yeah, of course.
What if I want to hire you? What if I need a very important job done, and only you and I can do? You're not
What
gonna be
is
around.
what is this job that you would have me do?
Hypothetical jobs. There could be tons of them. There's a city full of people that I could fuck over. You never know.
Well, I'm one to wander. I don't tend to stay in one place like a rock. I flow.
Like mud.
You could say. As a mud genasi, I say these things
Hmm.
and imply these things.
I hate this guy.
Uh
I love this person.
huh. They're adorable.
Batman and
Sadly,
Robin
we-
was an underrated masterpiece. Is that what you're telling me?
Cold shoulder, Batman. Well, looks like our drinks are here. The waiter kind of comes back and just like quickly puts down your pitchers and then a few glasses and then heads off.
Thank you, darling.
Well, two new friends. And Ostrich holds up their glass. Juliana kind of like holds up hers shakily. And
She's surviving.
yeah,
Yeah, to be
And
You'll
also
survive.
new friends and new connections. And I sort of like give Juliana sort of a flirty nudge.
she blushes and kind of shrinks away from you, but she holds up her her glass. Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. Skill check. Persuasion. Nope.
Well, it was still a pretty good attempt. It's not your best flirt, but it seems to get the point across. You guys enjoy a relatively boisterous night conversing with each other, making new friends and acquaintances. Ostrich doesn't really give a place where they are going to be, but you do get a sense for where the others are going to be stationed or live. Juliana's house is marked on the map now. Rizzo is apparently working for an apothecary in the Undercroft. And Peggy, as she said, is going to have her shop. Ostrich, the only thing that they gave was the Dark Gate for a location, or the Mercenary Corps.
Yeah, so we can leave messages for them if we need to.
Yeah, but basically you guys get to know these few people better.
Yay!
If there's any point where Ostrich runs off or like goes get a drink or does something, I kind of want to catch him in between returning to the party to have like a private conversation to see if I could become more available to the vendors.
I actually want to see if I can talk to Peggy about building some things.
Okay. Ostrich is going to go get some more drinks, probably at your suggestion or something, and then you just kind of like follow.
Hey, let me help you. I'll help you. Run off with them.
As they go up to the bar and like start coming back with stuff, you catch them by like the Three Ravens fireplace. What is it? What do you want to talk about?
Just real quick. How do I become more like your position within the Vintners? You seem to know a lot more. Who do I need to talk to? How does that happen?
Well, I've been with the Vintners for a while. You kind of work your way up by getting trust in. You can usually find an in through one of their gangs or something. Like I said, though, it's dirty work sometimes. But you seem to be...
Look at myself up and down. I'm like, really?
I don't know what I'm saying. I guess I just wanted to give a fair warning. But,
Warning taken.
yeah, if you want to get in with the Vintners, I can perhaps put a word in before I head off and do my own wandering.
I'd appreciate it. That'd be nice. Now let's go get those drinks.
Ah, yes. And then you guys, like, head back to the table. Zumasu, Peggy is within talking distance at this time.
So, are you just any sort of particular things you're thinking about tinkering with? Or is you thinking more sort of like weaponry and like adventuring accessories?
Oh, well, you know, stuff that people in Allure would want to buy. But, you know, I already make, like, little toys and, like, music makers, lamplighters. But I was looking into this, this sort of, like, I got this idea where there's, like, this clock that, this clock amulet that'll help you, like, be more consistent, like, more in time with the universe and, like, being regular. It's, I'm gonna call it a clockwork amulet, and I'm thinking if it works, you should just be able to, like, roll a 10 on an attack roll once every, like, day or so. Like, automatically. No, it would just be a consistent attack, frozen in time, that you're able to call upon whenever you need it.
You got some pretty interesting things there. Would you ever consider making something more, what's the word, industrial?
Industrial? What are you talking?
Something like a printing press or something. Like,
I don't know if
We
there's a
know
high
that-
demand for those.
well,
But would you take a commission?
yeah.
A commission? Yeah, I'd be able to do that. I'm gonna be out a lot of money because I gotta set up this whole shop thing, so anything I can take on, especially something fairly simple like that, that would be something I'd be willing to do.
I mean,
Simple. You pleb.
Simple is depends on who's saying it. But you seem to have a bit of a knack of, imbuing things with a little bit of extra there. So, I don't know. Maybe we could talk over some commission of some printing press with a little extra in it.
A magic printing
I gotta-
press.
Something like that.
My gears are turning. Tell you what, I'll come back to me in a week or so, and I'll have some plans for you. What are you talking? What are you planning on using this for?
Oh, spreading some pamphlets and stuff. Right now, it seems like the city's abuzz with different opinions. Somebody getting a hold of a good one and spreading it around seems like it'd be useful.
You got big plans, Zumasu, or whatever your alias was that you gave me.
Spent. You're going with
Nice.
spent right now.
Spent. Well, you got some big plans there, Spent. Sure hope the best for you. Hope it works out. But
Yeah, at minimum, I can open up just a printing press shop or something. Everybody always needs something pamphleted out.
I can get some things planned out and see if any of them strike your fancy. Yeah, just let me know. At this point, Mao and Ostrich finally head back to the table with fresh drinks for everybody.
We got shots.
Shot, 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 shot.
Did anyone want to try drinking me under the table?
Um,
I haven't
Fuck
been able
no.
to consume. I haven't been able to consume anything this good in ages.
you can drink yourself underneath the table, darling. I am not gonna win that fight.
Yeah, a
Can
paladin,
we?
a
Is that a
Yanti
thing?
paladin.
I give a look to Ostrich and possibly to Rizzo because I'm not sure.
If you want someone to drink with you, I'll join you. I'm not gonna try and outdrink you. Just
come
drink
on.
at your leisure.
Yes, my friend, I can see that you have a bit of a iron stomach. But I will drink with you.
All right.
Not drink
I'll
for
drink-
drink, but
Maybe his health will be better if he stopped drinking.
Oh no.
Bomru is the only one that could like stave you off and compete.
What about fucking
that's fair.
Grubble?
Trouble probably could.
well, Grovel was able to outdrink just about everyone. If you wanted to get in a contest, he was the one you should have been asking. Apparently, he's moved on, taken his earnings, and left town.
Good
Were
for
the
him.
vendors okay with that?
That sounds shady as fuck.
Mhm.
He expressed to Barty, apparently, that he wanted to get out. Barty told me
Okay.
about it later when I was trying to find Peggy. But, yeah, I guess he wanted to get out of the Vintners and finally got this chance to.
Good.
As long
good
as
for
he's
him.
thankful for him.
Man,
As
it
long
would have
as
been
he's
really
okay.
sad if he had died before retirement, but
Insight check.
Yeah.
if you'd like to.
Just seeing if he's dropping some hints that he might have killed him. They might have.
Oh hey.
No. It doesn't seem like he has killed him and is trying to subtly imply that he retired. It doesn't seem that way. It seems he's more just like, lucky guy.
Good for Barty. Very good for Grovel.
Well, what do you say? We put these drinks to the test. Oh fuck.
Fuck yeah.
Oh fuck. What kind of shot was this? He kind of like waves it in front of Mal, and it's like kind of wavering. This thing is a slippery little son of a bitch.
I motion to the waiter and I drop a gold piece. I'd like 3 of these, please.
Fire something. Dragon.
keep 'em
I don't
coming.
know, something strong.
Fire something. I need more fire somethings.
Make that 2 more of these.
Get drunk.
Alright, Zumasu, you just like chug these things. You are immune to poison. It is going to take a while for you to get drunk on these.
I get a buzz, but it takes a while for me to get drunk.
Yeah. Can make a few constitution checks until you fail we'll say a DC 10.
I just did.
Well, I'm gonna say you have advantage on this. You're technically immune to this, so I'm gonna say it's like you're resistant to alcohol.
Damn. It's rough. Closer. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So
So you're like
that's like
3 shots in, and you're now buzzed.
there we go. This took a while. This is why I can only have sips on the journey. It's never quite enough to get me going. I kind of lean back in my chair and just kind of like stick my legs out, you know.
I
I'm
would do
like
that,
half
but
asleep
I'd
at
get
this point.
shit all over the table. I'm just gonna keep drinking, man. And Ostrich pours themselves another few beers. They've stopped the shots. Boom Crash, you have also survived the first shot as well from your Constitution check.
Nice.
Mao has as well. Apparently, Ostrich is just sloshed. They may have been
Ah.
pre-gaming.
That's fair.
Actually, I would do this in character. How much does it cost to get like a few kegs of ale to take home?
Some takeaways.
Eggs?
Gonna buy out the place.
I mean, they're probably going to prioritize their patrons, but if you talk to the person, they might be able to tell you where they get their supplies from.
I'll at least get that.
Sure, they get it from this group called the Aloran Vintners. in the
Fair enough.
you know, they're kind of famous for doing vintning stuff.
Yep. Just get my own home ale system and make my own beer. That's the best idea I ever
To be
had.
fair, you
Yep.
have an up-and-coming winery still.
Yep.
Anywho,
I turn to Peggy and just go, would you be able to make stuff to help with the alcohol making?
let's focus on the printing press, shall we, big guy?
Yeah. I drink another shot.
Lush.
All right. Well, this night passes pretty jauntily. Do you guys wish to do anything else? Converse anywhere with anyone else, or?
I'd probably dismiss myself early and go venturing outward and go say hello to other friends or get myself into trouble.
Have friends?
I'd spy
mean-
on
I
Maria.
don't. That's the joke. I don't have friends.
Oh, okay.
We're not your friends?
Almost there. Biff is a friend that she likes, though, to fuck with.
Ew.
Oh,
That's kind of gross.
I mean, she does take his identity and do really weird things, so she would have to go pick up the hat from tragedy and stuff, so...
wait, Bumcrash technically has the thing, so I'd probably ask Bumcrash for the seeing eyeball. What's it called? Why can't I remember the name of this thing?
Scrying stone?
Crystal ball?
Crystal ball. Yes.
Imagine real-life magic that doesn't work.
But I
Miss
probably
Cleo can see the future. Yeah.
I'd ask Bumcrash if I could borrow that to see if I could keep an eye on Maria, because she
Her
has
Wi-Fi
Maria written me back
disconnected.
yet?
So. Her
Uh,
Wi-Fi disconnected, so just an
Gotcha.
FYI.
oh,
Oh,
okay. I was
Oh.
wondering why she was being
Time to yell
quiet.
at Comcast!
fun times. Mine's been buggy all day, but oh, so far nothing bad right now. Maria hasn't responded to the letter I sent in the morning, right?
Oh, right, you did send a letter to her. She does reply.
Okay.
And
Then I wouldn't spy on her.
okay.
Stalker.
I
She
would be worried, because it usually happens same day.
on your way home tonight, you do find that she did reply to you, and you have a message as per the scroll yelling at you.
It's on the scroll, but I'll read the message at home.
Okay. Okay. So if everybody's good, and I understand Boomcrash is DC'd, we will assume that they had a jaunty night of flirting with one another.
I think Juliana is definitely a target. In a good way.
Definitely a target. Yeah, we can resolve that next time. Well, not next time, but like when
A later time.
she gets back. I'll just check. Okay. Cool. So, you guys head off. Mao, are you going anywhere tonight? You mentioned something like that.
Tragedy. Get the hat. Biff.
Okay. Tragedy might be there.
Oh,
Hi,
holy
Boomcrash.
shit. Hey, okay. I have internet again.
Yes, you do.
Yay.
Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on one second. Let me plug my headphones back in.
Yeah.
the little jaunty like noises from the tavern sound like a doorbell or on your.
Whew, okay.
Okay, so basically we were kind of just trying to wrap up. Didn't realize you had disconnected at first. We just assumed that you were flirting with Juliana the whole night.
Okay, yeah, no, it's
Okay,
Oh,
bye.
Did you disconnect again?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still
Okay,
here.
nope,
We hear
she's
you.
there.
Okay, yeah, no, it's if she wasn't into it, if my flirting continued to fail, then I would absolutely back off. But good-natured flirting, no pressure.
Okay. If you want, you can try another persuasion check just for the rest of the night. Maybe we'll do a few checks. We'll figure it out. Or you could do an intimidation check. It's really up to you.
Oh, no.
No, consent is good.
You could do a deception check. Did she disconnect again?
Possibly. We can't hear you, Jewel.
Well, I got Messenger up.
Well, you know what? I can do it from her character sheet.
True.
That works.
I wish that she would do it, but because of the nature of this, but we can abstract it.
Yeah, that's not a good conversation, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe Juliana's just not in the mood.
Maybe she's just not seeing eye to eye. So
Then this would just be to see if they see it later than a basic persuasion, I guess.
Yeah.
maybe this isn't quite her thing. It looks like Juliana hasn't really been touching her drink, but Boom Crash has sort of been going at it. So Juliana's sort of like I don't know what you'd call it, like not as interested in Boom Crash right now while she's like drinking.
Turn off.
Yeah, kind of a turn off. But she is still interested in seeing her in a more personal setting. And she is going to give her address at this point and ask her to come by whenever she feels like it. Anywho,
Cool.
that is done in a nice abstract way that didn't make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, let's continue. Everybody goes off. Mao, you're heading to tragedies. So, let's go to the overworld. And you will notice that the overworld has changed slightly since we were last here. I added a bunch of little cute icons and shit. Interesting thing, these are all the same icon with different faces and different colors. Anywho.
Color change is all you need.
Yeah, that's basically all you need. There you guys are. Didn't remember where I put you guys.
I kind of like the icons of the NPCs, though.
Well, they're still there, but they're like on a GM layer. So they'll show up when you guys like interact with somebody. Wait. Is it not pulling? There it is. Okay, so Mao, you head off to Tragic Antiques in the Undercroft. It takes you a while to get there. You're not like drunk or buzzed. You're just kind of like just a little open, I guess. Warm. That's the word I'm trying to like look for.
Shit, I forgot where my house is.
Oh, I didn't label it. Anywho, you head off to Tragic Antiques. It looks like it is closed for the night. There is a little light in the upstairs, though, of the building. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna jump on top of
Are
the
you
roof
back?
and go up to the window and knock on it.
Am I back?
You're back.
You are back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We rolled for you to progress things, and you got a natural 1 on your persuasion check.
Okay.
Rolls
So,
from your character sheet.
Juliana is not into drinking you.
That's okay.
So she offered for you to visit her anytime at her apartment at your
Okay.
leisure. But didn't go home with her or nothing.
I wasn't expecting it.
So you head up and climb up onto the rafters of the antiques place. I'm gonna have you just, I guess, do an acrobatics check and a stealth check or something. One of each. You're good at both, so. Yeah. You stealthily climb up there, your tail like wagging on behind you, completely silent, as you leap down onto a balcony sort of area. It's a very small balcony, but you're able to slip down there and just like rap on the window, and you hear from inside, "Ah!" And then you see a purple tiefling head over to the window. It appears that they are in a sort of nightgown, and they have a cap and everything with like holes cut in it for their horns to pop
Oh
through.
my god.
That's
my God.
adorable.
These little like silk slippers to go with it too.
He's holding like a little candle, Scrooge McDuck style.
Yes, I was imagining like Scrooge McDuck or like a Christmas Carol kind of.
Yeah. So Tragedy heads over to the window and looks out. Who The devil! Oh, it is a devil.
I mean, thanks. Can I borrow the hat?
The what? I haven't
Hat.
seen you in months.
Hi, yeah, we just got back.
Do you... I'm not really in any state, to receive guests right now, I'm
You look
afraid.
fine, don't worry about it. Can I borrow the hat?
The hat of disguise?
Yeah. The one that we're supposed to be like, I don't know, co-parents of?
Yeah, sure. Just, and he kind of like pulls a towel over towards himself and takes off his cap, and his entire clothing apparatus goes away. He is completely in the buff, and he hands you the hat. Yeah, I was... Listen, I like sleeping this way. It's just...
I ain't judging.
Okay, good. So he kind of like uncasually like leans against the wall and just like, so what have you been up to?
I mean, like I just said, we just got back. Had a couple of drinks with friends, I guess. We keep calling each other friends. And then I need the hat so I can go do more stuff.
It's
Can I
rubbing
have the hat,
off.
please?
You tsundere.
Oh,
I'm also completely ignoring the whole sexy thing. Like she's kind of oblivious to it to some degree. Maybe a little bit.
so you weren't here to see me at all?
I mean, I'm here. Didn't we do this before? I'm here to see you to get the hat.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more to me than just a hat, and he does the 1/3 success rate maneuver of dropping the towel. He is actively presenting to you, and he is going to attempt a charisma check.
Interesting.
Let's do it. He has a +2. He got a 12.
Okay then.
You just kind of look him up and down and don't know if you're really impressed with that or not. That's up to you.
Well, she's also ace, so she has like, I mean, probably goes. I mean, you have a nice body, but like that's just not my thing right now. Like I'm kind of busy.
He goes and grabs the towel and puts it up. Well, are you into girls, or? Cause like, if that's your thing, I could like.
They got spells for
that's
that.
That's a longer conversation. You got a nice bod though. Just saying, you look okay. Nothing against you at all. I swear to Hyronius and everybody else that people worship here, nothing against you. But I really need that.
Okay. You see him turn bright red, even with his purple skin, and he just hands you the hat. It releases his grip on it. Okay, well, come back soon, I guess.
Soon. I'm trying to. She's like outwardly thinking to herself, like, what do people do when they want to say goodbye? And she puts her hands up to her mouth and goes, "Mwah, see ya."
And he like jokingly, like a little too late, goes to like grab it and go, oh, I got it.
And already gone.
Oh,
yeah.
oh. And he kind of like sees you like jump off the balcony, like Batman style, with the curtains like wisping out into the open night air, and you see like a naked goblin kind of go up to the corner of the window. Who is that, boss? Oh, just a missed opportunity. He closes the window and goes back inside.
Mao is a not so sexy Catwoman. She's got all the decks and is good with that and just wants to shit.
Alright, tragedy goes away. You now have the Hat of Disguise. It
Hell yeah.
is going on like midnight or later. Like the partying has been going on for a while. People are very going to bed.
Someone should wash that hat. It's been passed around too much.
Prestidigitation is an easy spell you could have somebody use on it.
Exactly. Anyway,
I want to just hear my letter from Maria before we go overnight.
Oh, sure. Zumasu, you head back to your apartment, which is... Did you go there?
I think it was either here or one. It was in this area, but I forget which area.
I think it was... Yeah, it wasn't in the very bottom, it was like over here. Yeah, it was definitely in there somewhere. So you head back to your apartment. It looks like there are like several newspapers piled up in front of it. There's lots of dust on everything. Several like messages have been shoved into like your mail box, and they seem to be like overdue payments. It seems like this wasn't taken care of before you left, really.
Oh no.
Anywho,
Oh no.
you plop those onto the table as you go inside. It like creaks under the weight.
All right. Is anything actually say urgent?
Uh,
Like I don't want to be evicted.
One says urgent, but it's a Kia warranty thing and it's a scam.
There's a thing from your old college asking you to donate, but that doesn't seem as urgent as it's saying. Thanks, Risty.
Okay, I am very
investigating.
apt-
It looks like it
Average
can be taken care of
people.
tomorrow.
Okay.
You plop them on the table and like sit down like on your little chair in your nook, and take out the scroll from Maria, and you see Cecil's gross face going, "You've got mail. You've got," and you just go, "Shut up," and press on his little nose, and the scroll opens. The text begins to crawl. It seems as if Maria actually came back to Allure and then left. It was the only time that she could take her leave. But she has been repositioned to a location not in the fortress, but in another town called Urzark, somewhere off in the Scablands. It's a local interest for Allure. She's been positioned out there for only a week now. She's still getting used to the goings-on around there, but it looks like they're just tightening the the patrols around that area. It looks like the locals are a bit unhappy to see them, them being the Aloran military there. But otherwise, she's looking forward to seeing you and hoping that maybe you could come out and see her, since she can't really come back as easily at this point.
Our trek is this?
You're not sure. You've never been there.
Okay. I'll have to figure this out.
But she says she really misses you, and that she looks forward to grabbing a drink with you.
Alright. Okay, I'll just send back a basic message that's like, so sorry we've missed. I have a bunch of things I, of course, got to take care of now since I haven't been back in a while, but I'll see if I can arrange for to come down there at some point to, grab that drink and see how you're doing. Best regards, Zumasu.
You tap the ink against the period and send off the scroll. Cecil's, his winking face just like sends off the message, twirls his mustache, and the scroll rolls up, and you just kind of sigh to yourself, blowing out the candle next to you, and you head back to sleep, just in your chair. It's been a long few months.
Yep.
A new dawn arises, and it is daybreak in Allure. What are you guys off to do? From what you were last told, you were requested to see Amon in the morning.
I was gonna do that.
That's fair. A fair assumption.
No, don't do that. Then I'll be returning to the story.
I was having
what's
fun
that?
watching this. Let's gather y'all. And zoom in.
After what was it? Ostrich saying something about my armor. I am gonna disguise it a tiny bit before I come over. And
Okay,
then
so
still
you're
look like-
still in disguise?
Yeah, because I was with them before for this scenario.
Yeah, you were. Okay. So you head into the Church of Hieronius. Its tall marble pillars towering before you. The statues of Hieronius still where they were yesterday, mighty and imposing. The priestess beckons you guys in and says, I'm afraid we have bad news for you. Spence, was it?
Yeah.
It seems as if, I don't know how to tell you this, but we will not be resurrecting your friend. The High Priestess approaches you guys. He is far too dangerous to be brought back. We discussed it with the rest of the church, and we felt that it was best he be left at peace. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do.
Is it a matter of money, or is it a matter of conflicting ideology?
It's a matter of morality. It appears he worships some old god that we don't really know much about, and it's not one that's permitted here in Allure. And from what we saw, it's a dark god indeed. It would not be in our best interest to bring back this creature.
Rude.
My ghost is in the background going like, they do have a point. Ooh.
Okay. So she's part of the. Is she part of the Leaf Crown Church, or what is? How does this work? She's
She's
of the
part
Church
of
of
the
Hieronius.
Church of Hieronius, which is a separate thing from the Leaf Crown. The branch of the Leaf Crown that you are from, the Acanthus, they are paladins of Hieronius. So they do have a special relationship with the church. But right now you are a Spence, random portly half-elf that brought an evil deity back for them to resurrect.
Yeah. So okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, run away. You're gonna get arrested. I mean, ooh.
All right. Can I try to see if I can talk to the head priestess on the side?
Alright.
I want to cause a commotion here, so I wanted to see if I could. I just ask her
in this
calmly,
group of like 4 or 5 like people, you grab the High Priestess and
No, I politely just ask her. Do you mind if I just talk to you for a moment, to the side for a second, Miss High Priest?
make a persuasion check.
Well, that was average.
That was average. Just gonna do my own roll. She looks you up and down and she sighs and gestures for you to lead the way. She goes following you to like a sort of niche in the wall with a lower god just sort of like standing over you as a statue. There were some people praying, but they kind of like got up and left as you approached. What is it that you want, Mr. Spence?
All right. So I'm going to be more honest with you, and I kind of like remove the sort of glamour disguise I had on. Just be like, you might not believe this, and I pull out like my insignia from the Leaf Crown, but I am actually a paladin with the Leaf Crown, and that man there has actually saved my life a multitude of times. The reason he died in the first place was because we were doing an investigation that I needed his help with. And from my travels with him, he has proven to be, despite his very obviously rough demeanor, both personality-wise and physically, he still manages to help and heal people. He might not necessarily be the most, as I said, friendly person while doing it, but he is still proven himself to be a pretty brave and noble man. And I still owe it to him to bring him back if I can.
You are Zumosu.
Yes.
You have been here before, and we brought you back from the dead. I understand that you're in a sort of interesting position. As a member of the Grey Guard, you tend to be a little lax on your beliefs. Although I don't really appreciate that. Perhaps I never can, but I have to acknowledge that you do an important role in our society, rooting out corruption from within.
Sometimes somebody has to be the one to get their feet dirty.
You have done services here. I've heard of them, sat in on one of them. Perhaps I will talk to the council again. Make a new persuasion check, Zumasu, and if you'd like, I think you still have a favor with the church. You can cash that in.
Yeah, I'll cash it in.
I will give
You
you...
fool!
You fool!
Oh.
I will give you advantage on your check.
But I got a 20 anyway.
Oh, I didn't even see. So, either way, the way that you presented it seemed to sway her, and the fact that you are an important person in this city, you just haven't been seen for a while. She kind of understands as if we're probably undercover or something. She kind of knows what the Grey Guard does, because she has to be privy to that knowledge, and she agrees to do this for you personally.
Yeah, I need to earn more favors again.
If he is important to you, then I will see to it that we will make the attempt. If he even wants to come back. Have you and your friends come and meet me in the Resurrection Chamber. Presently.
We will.
Get my people. And she heads off to gather some priests and some things. You are quite familiar with the Resurrection Chamber. You've been there a few times. Not the best place to be familiar with.
At this point, I'm just gonna be Zumasu now, since she already knows, and it'd be weird to change back. Plus, they already know my party from before, so it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
This isn't the group I need to be hiding from as much.
So
let them know that that's kind of what happened.
You guys head down into the Resurrection Chamber and watch this bit of fucking movie magic. Wow. Interior in the overworld.
That's kind of neat. Good job.
Thanks.
God damn it.
You head down into the Resurrection Chamber, where the High Priest Nilestill is waiting for you. She has a few attendants nearby, but she shoos them off while she is preparing the spell. Zumasu, here is your friend. You see Amon resting in a rather peaceful state, in a marble slab, sort of indented with nice blankets and embroidered pillows and whatnot. He seems at peace despite being a wretched corpse. His skull mask and other accoutrement have been placed on the side, and he's been put in these white gowns that look very uncharacteristic.
He looks way
I'm a
nicer
mummy
than he
now.
usually looks.
He looks far worse than you could have imagined he did underneath that cloak. Anywho.
I never really saw what that was. Ooh.
He is worse for wear. But we will need you to help call for your friend. Think of anything that you can provide, anything that you could do, anything you want him to hear, anything you could offer up. It's really up to you, but
does that go
please,
for my friends over here too?
if they are close to him, it will help.
I give them kind of glances, kind of like, come on, guys.
What?
Kind of
You want me to
grit your
slap him
teeth and
again?
wave your head over, come on.
Roll my eyes. Fine.
Anyway,
He needs a slapping.
while you guys are thinking, this will affect a Mercurian resurrection check in a moment. Amon,
Oh god, no.
Spirit Journey.
Yay.
Okay, let's get some more music. Just
Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B.
if you do a hyperextended Z slide, you can clip through hell and get back to Allure, but that's going to require a
Ah.
natural 20 on your dexterity check, sleight of hand.
So, on a serious note, what would you have me do?
So on a more serious note, I'm going to tell you. Just wanted to get some music going. A featureless gray waste stretches before you. Distant gray specters wander aimlessly through the bleak and dusty hills, as well as the skies above you. These skies are also gray and with a loss of hope. You are drawn towards a great pillar of smoke on the horizon. For days, it seems, you travel towards it, until it finally begins to rise into a great citadel of burning wood, like a giant pyre on the horizon. Each wall and gate is a veritable bonfire. Its pillars glow with veins of cinders, and a torrent of flame wreaths them, flying with abandon into the barren skies with a tower of black soot. In spite of this castle's state, it seems perfectly stable and burns eternally. Its open gates beckon you forward. You head inside, unbeknownst of yourself. Inside the castle walls, you see a throne dominating the space. The throne is made entirely out of squirming vermin, riddled with all manner of wasting disease. Seated upon it is a huge deformed giant in a thin fraying hood and cloak. It raises a skeletal hand and beckons you to approach. My son, you have failed me. Like many other scarred ones, you have fallen. You will join their souls when the time is right. And at this point, you seem to have the floor.
All right, it's like uh, at this stage, like I'm gonna look around, and it's like and for this failure, what must be the punishment?
Well, the being rises from its throne. It is hunched over with a hump on one side of its back. Its hands are unnervingly thin, while its arms are twisted and covered in pocks and pustules. Its legs and feet are clubbed with cancerous growth. By all means, if this was not a divine being, it would be in immeasurable suffering. Its face is still hidden to you as it steps from its throne to tower over you. Your punishment is nigh. You will serve the other scarred one, the one that comes out victorious. For that is your fate.
Will my service pave way for the greater good, for the great cleansing?
The scarred ones are a part of a greater plan to bring suffering to the world, yes. I came to those who were suffering greatly, my power close to them, and gave them host to my own divine might. But only one can be chosen to become the immortal Plague Rider. They must slay each other until only one scarred one remains. Then the work can begin. You will be a tool for them.
You did not answer my question. What greater good must come out of this?
All in time, my little soul. You will bring great suffering in the arms of the Plague Rider.
Will anything grow out of this suffering, or is it just a means to an end? And then
Suffering is bread and milk to me. The more I cause, the greater my power becomes. And this, for you, this is what you will be.
then you're a hedonistic fool.
Some call it this, yes. But regardless, you came to me. You came to me when I called you. You chose to accept my power, whether or not you knew what it entailed. You chose to receive it in your time of direst need. Your only choices left were to seize the name of Plague Rider, or be consumed by others who seek that power for themselves. And my son, you have been consumed. Another mere casualty of destiny.
What about what about my home? Was that merely a casualty?
All suffering is a casualty of destiny. Those who are suffering come closer to me. Anywhere near death but not quite stepping over the threshold. That is the stuff I drink. That is the stuff that I sought for you to bring. Did successfully. Perhaps I could have been more clear, but I only can show myself to those in great suffering. Otherwise, I can just communicate in dreams and whatnot. But everyone has the same rules. You just failed.
So, in the feature, in the quote-unquote throne room, is there anything? What's in there besides the obvious chair?
It looks like it's mostly like 4 towers, 4 walls, a gate, and his throne.
Okay.
It looks more like a what do you call it? Ceremonial, I guess.
Okay. Okay. In that case, s- in that case, I will begin to walk out.
You begin to walk out.
It's like,
Do you say anything else? It sounds like you were done.
I'm gonna say like you offer no enlightenment. Uh, you offer no meaning. Uh, you offer suffering without salvation or growth. You are just a means to an end, and that is a point. That is a pointless machination that I will not be part of, and I'm just gonna walk out. Well, I'll attempt to.
You
I
walk
don't think.
towards the gates, but some force stops you at the threshold. You try and take a step forward and look down, but your legs are nothing but just wisps of smoke. You hadn't really gotten a good look at yourself, but you yourself are just made of ash and soot. You're not sure how you feel what you're feeling right now, but you turn back as the figure begins to laugh. You can't leave. They've already been calling for you, but you're still part of my plans, my son. I'm holding you tight, bound to Hades in my fortress, my charnel home. You can't leave, not until I will it. The figure bends down to your level and pulls back upon its hood. You see maggots squirming within its knotted hair. As you lock eyes with this divine being, you see a horrifying face, a woman with porcelain dead skin, tears of blood streaking from her eyes. The face is burned into your memories. It's your mother, who died keeping you alive. The visage vibrates as if tears blur out the edges of your vision, but it speaks with its own voice. You cannot leave until the time has come and the Plague Rider has been chosen.
I'm gonna. Well, I don't have hands, I assume, but I'm gonna attempt to just plunge out the quote unquote eyes out of the thing, and with my hand, and I don't think it's gonna go well, guys.
You swipe at his face, and the nightmarish image of your mother sort of like fluctuates as if it's just an illusion, a spear sort of effect, and it is affecting you on a very emotional level, but the figure just laughs in your face. You don't have any power here. You were bound to me the moment you accepted my help. Oh. Oh. How fun. They're calling to you once more. But it matters not. You don't have a choice here. You will stay here in Hades until a stronger scarred one, with the will to endure suffering and the will to avoid Nerul's call to the grave, takes your place. You have failed me, and you will stay here, suffering and hopeless, just like all the other specters here. I'm afraid. And you just sort of like flail at him, screaming, but nothing seems to come out. You wisp into smoke and join in the pillar that is this burning citadel, and find yourself flying around in a tornado of soot and ash. And that brings us back to the resurrection chamber. Zumasu, Mao, Boomcrash, what do you guys
still
have?
disconnected.
She's still disconnected, damn it. I gave her a long while.
They could have
they
checked
were
the
gonna check
inventory.
like there, but they,
Ugh.
I have his shampoo and his oil.
Make a convincing argument.
I can go and wash his hair.
Okay.
But you never take care of nobody.
Nope.
I can see how that would be a meaningful gesture that might apply.
I think I'm just gonna prepare his body for death. I'm just gonna, like, if I were to use the oil to like rub it on like his temple or something, like as a way of like preparing like a body for the dead you're supposed to wash.
Okay. It looks like he already has been, but you can still, like, he already has been prepared, but you can definitely do it again in a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Rub my feet. Give me a foot rub.
Howard!
The rigor mortis.
Alright. So I'm going to have you make, we'll call that, it's fairly uncharacteristic of you, and it's not something,
Again, this is more of a goodbye than him coming back. I think is how she's seeing it.
You've given up.
It's more of like a sign of respect that in case he doesn't come back, it's like a final farewell gesture
okay.
without word.
I'm gonna call this a DC 15 religion check for you.
I ain't got that.
That is a failure, which means that the resurrection DC for bringing him on back has increased. The High Priestess
great.
will be making this check in the end. But
Alright.
that is one failed attempt. You have tried your best to clean up Amon, but you're not sure if it's going to work or not. I know that
I got
Boomcrash hasn't
something.
been... okay, so let's do you then.
Okay. I take out the manacles and I take out the diamond dust he had given me. Now, Amon, you're, as far as I'm concerned, I trust you with my life, but I still think that I still need to keep an eye on you. When we first met, I was kind of your ward, and I still feel like I have that responsibility. At the same time, though, you kind of have to have my back because, you know, we keep on getting into situations where people get injured. This diamond dust you gave me was to help alleviate that, and I didn't get the chance to use it. So you're coming back, so I can pay you back for the time you saved me. And I put the manacle on his leg, and I clip it to my leg, and I kick it to my arm, and just like, and you're coming back because I still have to look after you. This isn't done, buddy. You owe me.
You should have gone first.
With sheer determination, you attempt to intimidate Amon into having a stronger will, basically forcing him back from the grave per his own duty. Make an intimidation check.
I'm better at that.
I know you are.
Yeah.
The DC was about 15. So that is a success. You have
Yay!
increased the High Priestess's check for bringing back Amon. So, last but not least, we do have Boom Crash. I know that they are disconnected. Has anybody been talking to...
Yeah.
They've been
yeah.
trying to restart the router. We'll see if we can get a response real quick through Messenger.
Okay, in the meantime, man, I don't have anything right now for this moment, because nobody's like, we can't cut away to anybody else, really. We can cut back to Amon, who is just screaming and spiraling in a soot tornado above a burning castle, betrayed by their god Encabulos, caught up in his cruel game of some sort. Man, talk about a crisis of faith.
Well, I was never truly into him. It was just convenient.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, you were
yeah.
trying to, like, find out what the heck they wanted from you, and it seems as if...
They're thinking.
Now you don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh no, like at least now we know the rule of the game.
Fair.
Problem is, I
Boom
can't.
Crash is trying to think of something that Amon impressed her with
Okay.
so far.
So
She's
they're still
commonly-
thinking?
commonly impressed.
Yeah.
She's actually commonly impressed by what I do because she thinks I'm metal, whatever that genre of music that hasn't been invented may be.
Let's
Like when you dove
take
off
a
the
look at
cliff
Boom Crash,
and then
then.
collapsed to your death and then stood back up again. Ugh.
Well, Boom,
That's true.
Boom Crash is good at intimidation, but we've already made that sort of check. She does have Arcana, so it could be feasible that she could try and use her Warlock magic to pray to her Dark Lady to sever this tie that is keeping Amon back, holding him back from this mortal coil. So I'm going to have Boom Crash make a Heavy Metal Arcana check, which is a special kind of check that she has a +1 bonus to because of the heavy metal.
Well,
Well,
It was a difficult DC, and unfortunately a 10 even is not enough. Boom Crash tries to call upon her Dark Lady, but she isn't replying. Boom Crash on her own tries to use her arcane magic to interfere in this sort of divine rite, trying to sever the tie that Encabulos has over Amon, not really fully understanding the breadth of what it is. Did Boom Crash reply anything?
yeah, it kind of fits with what they were saying. They were talking
Alright.
about, yeah, that's when the divination was happening and he helped her out about a Taurus. She probably would have used her arcane power in a similar way to
yeah,
help him out
it
here.
was a vulnerable moment, so she would help him in his vulnerable moment.
Okay, so the DC has collectively decreased by 1. Each of your failures increased the DC by 1, but Zumasu's success increased it, or reduced it by 3. So the DC is a bit easier, but not by much, only a 1 difference. The DC is now 12. The High Priestess has a +5 bonus to her spellcasting check. So,
by all means, it should be easy to pull off. But now that I jinxed it,
but there's always
Bye,
a
guys.
chance.
I know that feeling.
The High Priestess holds all of your hands together. Zumasu's manacled, but manages.
Gross, but okay.
The incense that she has placed around Amon in his little container, his little slab, they all instantly light of their own accord, filling the room with a rich scent, and she begins chanting in all of the high tongues, until finally one that you recognize. Whatever god has their grip upon this being, Amon, we call to you. We beg that he be brought back of his own will. Should he will himself back, please release him, and let us have him once more. Let Zumasu implore you. Let Mao implore you. Let Boomcrash implore you. We all seek the return of this soul. We ask this in your name, Hyronius. Please. The incense flares. The diamonds that had been purchased for this purpose begin to sparkle and shine until they crackle with divine power and shatter in wisps of smoke surrounding the circumference of this slab. Let's make this check.
Moment of truth.
Huzzah!
Amon, you are spiraling out of control in the soot until you finally reconstitute what was your sort of pseudo-soul form, and you hear a voice calling out to you. It is the sound of a strange woman calling to you to come back, but you also hear 3 more voices beyond them. They're your friends. You remember them, and they seem to want you back. Incabulos looks up towards the soot column and cries, "What? No! No! You are still part of my plan, you piece of flesh! Come back down here!" Amon, you have the option to leave this place. You look up into the sky and see a light above the pillar of smoke calling to you. Do you take it?
Yes. At this stage, I have to.
You spiral up the pillar of smoke, then Cabulos crying out behind you, falling into the distance as you leave Hades behind and start treading towards the light. It's a long and arduous journey in spite of the apparent instants that have passed. But finally the light overtakes you, and you peer through 2 eyes you are familiar with. You wince a bit as the eyes close upon their lids once more for the first time, and breath re-enters your lungs. Everyone around you is like stunned that this has worked.
Especially Mao.
Especially Mao, who is ready for you to die. The High Priestess sort of like backs away in surprise. It seems that our efforts were not in vain. We brought him back, and with almost no ill efforts. Seems like a true resurrection spell was able to bring him back. Well,
I
that
untook
is...
the manacle and just kind of long enough, dummy.
Well, there goes the church's funds for a while. You 4 get acquainted. I'll go placate the priests outside. The priestess leaves. Amon, you are aching and in pain, but you look down upon yourself, and your scarred flesh looks almost better. Like, it isn't as scarred anymore. There's still scars, yes, but your flesh has gotten a bit stronger and more resilient and more like it was before you became so hideously deformed. It's almost like you're just covered in cuts rather than covered in, like, skin-tight, withered flesh.
So does his face look kind of like more like a face? It's got like
It looks a bit more like a face.
a face.
It looks like a fish.
Oh no. The Cthulhu. Dagon, please.
Tropos breaks through the door. A mind flayer! Yeah, the light fades, and you see that your body has returned to a almost semblance of normalcy, but the scars are probably still going to be there with you forever.
Okay.
Amon, why do you look so better? I pull out the magic mirror that's functioning as a normal mirror for now to show him.
I'm gonna cast. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna point my finger up and cast light at the ceiling.
Cast light at the ceiling. It seems to function. And a light rises and spreads throughout the room.
Unexpected.
Something weird happened up there. We had trouble getting you back, man. I grabbed back the diamond dust, and I'm keeping this
I-
still because if you fall again, I guess I'd have to try
I
to
gotta-
revive you faster.
I'm gonna. There's much to discuss, and um, much things have changed. Maybe
Well,
maybe not too much, but certain. I have pierced the veil, and what was beyond it was not pleasant.
well, Boom Crash hugs you, just as a heads up. So she's hugging you.
Boom Crash, in spite of your talking about piercing the veil and whatnot, is all over you, hugging you, like rubbing her beak up against you like a little dog almost.
Big mama bird.
I pet the head.
You pet the head passively as you explain these things that you have seen, and in spite of everything, Zumasu didn't remember anything of his resurrection, but you remember everything clearly, like piercingly so.
So at this stage, I think I'm gonna be asked to be left alone for a bit because I need to figure out some stuff. Like I knew this was gonna be this more of a kind of in character thing because I need to. My character needs to decide how he's gonna go about this because certain things are in motion now that he can't really do anything about, and every death that he condemns um, feeds more into it, and he also needs to do research on the quote unquote the Pale Rider.
I did an insight check to you to see why you were, kind of see what was up about you casting light. See if you could shake me from asking you a bunch of questions.
It seemed like he was
I'm
just testing something, like trying to make sure that something still worked. But he is being asked to be left alone.
Also, your god said Nurgle as the pale rider.
Yeah,
No,
that's why I'm doing a
Nerul.
sort of insight
No,
check.
I think
I already-
think it's a Nerul.
Nerul.
Because
Nerul. Okay, Nerul.
No, to be
Yeah.
fair, I do know that he was been worshipping a crazy deity, so I'm just gonna stay for a second to just ask him.
I'm leaving.
Is it
I'm
something
just like,
that has
yeah,
to
sure,
do-
whatever.
Is your deity safe at this point, Amon?
his safe, not us, and also
Would it make a difference to change religions?
well at this stage, what I've been following may not been the true identity
Hmm.
because you know what I need to because the source of my power may not come from Encabulus.
Hmm. Well, I'll give you a bit of time. You said you wanted to be alone. I was just curious. Glad to have you back, though. Take care of yourself. We'll meet up in a little bit.
Just where?
You can.
Your house.
Well, yeah, we could just meet back up at my house. I have some bills I gotta look over. God, being out for a while. Good thing your name wasn't on the lease. And I walk off.
And you leave with like your hand behind your head like an anime character shrugging.
I am probably actually gonna go back to my house to take a look at my mail, but
Amon, a few curious priests like peer into the room, like just passively over the next few seconds, but then they just
I motioned them. I
Oh.
motioned them in.
Oh, you motioned them in. They were like ready to close the door and leave, but as they see you motion them in, they kind of look at each other and cautiously step forward to the room.
I asked them, how much do you know?
We were told that you were not going to be brought back, that you were a danger to others. We weren't
That
sure
may-
if it was right to bring you back, and to be honest, still not sure, though you look much different now.
Well, you and I share the same sentiments then. How, um, like, do you have an archive? I believe I'm gonna kneel and then just like I humbly request an access to your archives, if you have any.
Make a persuasion check. Just because they don't fully trust you.
Of course. Eh, mediocre.
Oh, see about it. They look at each other and they kind of go off in their own little discussion. The High Priestess, yeah, but very well. We'll take you to the archives. I trust that your gown is fine for now.
Yeah, a little
Thank
putt
you.
flap.
Yeah,
They
like,
lead you
yeah,
out of the
it'll
resurrection
do fine.
chamber. They are like they're like sort of half-heartedly offering help. You are very like weak.
Unwelcome.
Well,
Yeah.
not just unwelcome, but very weak, and they don't know how to deal with you. Um, the resurrection has not treated you well in spite of healing your body. It took a lot out of you.
Yes.
You're suffering from resurrection sickness. Um, and you are eventually led to their religious archives. They seat you down at a chair and help you kind of push in there, and they just kind of say, we'll be at the entrance if you need anything."
Okay. At this stage, I hope they're alphabetized. God, I hope they're alphabetized.
They're
I
organized by
never.
religious importance.
Oh God. Better than the Dewey Decimal System. But I'm gonna be spending research. Change of plans. I'm gonna be doing a lot of research.
Okay,
Uh,
that is very different from what you gave me before. um,
well, things have changed. You have
yeah,
altered the deal. Or less
I
creative.
very well have.
Yeah.
You also
Uh,
casually mentioned the party that before you leave that Amon said he didn't want to convert Tyrones just yet. Okay. Cool. Um,
I'm not
Boom
trying
Crash?
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
Boom Crash will pray like later on, not now. Later on.
It's good
So
to
like
know.
I don't I have no intention of converting, but now I had to think like um I might have to investigate my old religion and see if it was completely false or or if there's like a name analog that's not being translated right because Nero is a new name, and also the way it was describing it seemed like it was Nero wasn't part of the thing. It was more of a like he wasn't Nero himself. Like I don't know if he was referring to himself in third person or if there's like a kind of like a pantheon collaboration thing going on.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna have you make a religion check to process what you saw in the afterlife, and then I'm gonna have you make an investigation check for basically your day's worth of research in their archives. From your religion check, you well, good thing you got a
Oh,
good religion check. Uh, you sit there at the table and you like think about moving to go to the archives to pick up a book, but your limbs just don't want to move. You're just too weak from the resurrection sickness, and you just sit in meditation in the archives for a long while. Several hours pass, and some inspiration does come to you in this time. You've heard the name Nerul before. It is the god of death. And Cabulos himself was, from at least the way that he was talking, and from your experiences, seems to be a god specifically of suffering. Whether they have some sort of relationship, these two gods, it seems that they do, but you're not sure if they have plans together. Um, but the god Encabulos, which you are fairly certain that was him, you had devoted your life to this savior, or false savior, depending on how you look at it. And that is where you were sent in the afterlife. That was your destiny to go to them when your time came. So you've confirmed that that is the deity that you were worshipping, and that Nerul is a god of death, and Cabulos is a god of suffering, plague and famine, and all that comes with it. You've also come to a sort of insight that, from what Encabulos was saying, he can only reach out to you in dreams, almost as if he doesn't have a full grip on the material plane. You, not being, like, trained as a cleric, like classically trained, you weren't sure how this works, but you've intuited from your magic working that you don't think he can control how much power he gives out to his followers. Just simply, if you pray, it will come. You pray correctly and pray to the right people, you are rewarded as a sort of passive thing. And it seems that there is still at least a residual amount of that from you. You haven't tried to cast more powerful spells, but if your faith is wavering, you can't imagine that your powers would last for very long.
Okay, so instead of making a religious order, it is time to purge this religion from this world. That is my new goal now.
Interesting.
It's
So you're gonna be the
It- it-
champion, so you can do what you want.
so the if I ensure that he can't control the leakage of his powers, I will become the Pale Rider, and I will ride off into the sunset.
There you go.
So you're sticking with Encabulos, but
Well, I have
In
no
a-
choice.
Well-
Like I have.
In a saboteur kind of way.
you could always turn to another deity, but you could also stick with this one and do your sort of saboteur thing if you'd like.
My global plan is this. I think I need to seek out a couple of other orders and see, because my solution is this: there are other Scar ones. If they die, they go there. I need to purge the connection somehow. I need to figure out how to purge their connection so I can save them.
Hmm.
So like my goal at this stage is to, because I'm the only one that so far has completely, far as I know, given the reaction, has ever come back. I'm the only one that knows the truth of what happens after everyone dies. I don't think I can save anyone that's already died and entered the pile, but there are still champions left. They must be defeated, so they can't be spreading Incapable's will around. But at the same time, um, and their souls need to be saved. So when they do eventually die, that they can be, um, they don't go to that place. So I'm trying to be good here.
You became an
once.
anime character.
Yeah, I've never had a campaign where the players have vowed to kill God before, but
Well, I'm not trying to kill a god. I don't think that's possible. That's too much hubris.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to work around it.
But generally, that sort of thing, like eradicating a religion and foiling a god's plans,
Indirectly kills a god.
this went in
That
an
is
interesting
that
direction, and I'm glad we did it. And I'm glad you're
Yeah.
back, Amon.
Yay! Now I'm gonna now leave me be. I'm gonna drool on this table because I'm too weak to wipe my own drool.
You eventually slump over onto the table after you've divinely been inspired. The priests come and collect you and bring you back to the chamber where you probably should have been resting as you sleep it off. Alrighty. So, for the restias, so I'm gonna make a, I guess, request. I had stuff prepared for Boom Crash. I'm I'm gonna hopefully see if she can come back online. I know
I
it's
can always put her on the phone if you want to like have it in front of you too. Can ask them to.
that seems like it's gonna be a little difficult for the mic to pick
Fine,
up and
just an option.
everything. But Boom Crash, if you're there, uh, try to come back on, if possible. If not, we will just keep moving on to other things. So, for now, we will go to, let's say, I guess who wants to go next for their sort of downtime activities here.
I can start.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, he's got bills to pay.
Mouse to
Bills
Mouse
feed.
to feed.
I have to. I have to
Nothing in this
check in
world
with
for
stuff.
free.
I just want to double check something the way this area is set up. What are these tall? These are where are the Senate buildings located again
The
around here?
Senate buildings, they're located to the west, which is west. The Senate buildings are Verp, right over there. Yeah.
Okay.
The like northern buildings are where the Senate sort of lives. It's like their penthouses and whatnot. There are a few like meeting rooms in there for them to discuss things, but a lot of the Senate activity, as well as the like consuls, which are like the House of Representatives essentially, that all takes place in the Aloran Senate building.
Are they having a session right now, or is it empty? I'm just trying to see
it's-
if I can get some info from some senators for now.
Okay. It is sort of. It is still morning. The resurrection took some time, probably like 2 hours, I'd say. So work is starting to get underway. It looks like people are gathering in the Senate for something to happen, perhaps another meeting or something.
Okay. Is there anybody I could like? I don't want to say it this way, but I'm trying to just see if I can corner somebody who looks like they'd be willing to, if I bribe them a little to give them some information.
Okay. So you start looking around. I'm gonna have you make a.
I'm just 1 second. I'm just debating if I want to be in.
You're trying to
Just-
look for someone who is bribable. Not sure what
Pretty much.
check that would be. I guess an insight check.
Seems like
I'll
it.
be
Or
spent
since-
for now because I don't want to completely ruin my reputation just yet.
Is Zemosu trying to be a con man right now? He's looking out his next target? What?
Kinda. Oh shit! I can spot a weak ass senator anywhere.
You think you see someone like just straight up taking a bribe, just off in the corner with like
No,
a shadier
he
figure.
just sees a guy. He just sees a guy going like, he's like, ho ho ho! I sure love taking bribes. Like ho ho ho. Just is that obvious?
No, it's conveniently placed quips that are like, is this a TV show or a movie? Because he just happens to be telling the bribe ad in the open.
Well, something was definitely exchanged between this character and like some unscrupulous sort of fellow before they disperse into the crowd. The consul is still there, being left behind. Yeah, this person looks bribable.
All right, I'll come over and start. I'll just introduce myself as Spence. I'll try to approach casually and just kind of like be like, top of the morning to you, good senator.
Actually, I'm a consul. My name is Diara.
Oh, could I ask which senator you represent?
Well, I don't represent a senator. But I do represent the Jewelers Guild. I am one of the several consuls who work for them. What can I do for you, Mr.
Spent.
Spent.
Sorry.
Right.
Um, I've been out of town for a long time, and I'm just trying to get a little bit of lay of the land from the horse's mouth, as it were. Um, Somebody from the Jewelers Council, I guess, would be a pretty good person to talk to. What would it take to maybe just borrow a moment of your time?
Well, you have it right now. What is it you need?
Um, I'd like to talk with senators eventually, but the war situation is what really piques my interest. From my sort of position, that does kind of influence the sort of work I'd be required to do. So keeping a tab on the position of the city on whether or not that's going to happen or what
Right,
sort of
right. So
efforts
which
going to be
side are
made.
you representing? Are you for or against? And what is your reasoning? What do the people have to tell me?
Oh, I just would like to know the info. As far as I'm concerned, or the jeweler, whichever way seems like it could make the most profit, which is why I'm trying to gather info first.
Of course, I am a representative of the people of the Jewelers Guild. There are several merchant guilds, and the Jewelers are one of them. We, as you may or may not know, are somewhat powerful, at least as far as the merchant guilds go. But I guess if you're looking for information, we are going to be having some sessions, at least one each day. It's one of the first topics we end up talking about each day, the war, as it were. Seems like they're trying to get everybody's opinions heard, and the consuls are dragging their feet. We're trying to get a little jump before the vote comes to us. The Senate is looking to vote on whether or not we go to war in 2 weeks, I believe the vote is, unless they move it up or something. But once they vote, then it goes to us, the consuls, and then we have to vote on it. And if we both vote yay or nay, then it goes that way. If we disagree, then we have to keep deliberating. And that's
Is there
politics.
Could you say is there any consensus within the merchant faction then?
There's quite a bit of deliberation. But right now I'm in a bit of flux, as it were. So I could go either way, depending on new or upcoming information, other such things. But the merchants, they're either for or against it. They have many different opinions on whether or not this war will profit them or profit the people, or whether it will bring economic ruin. So really, it's you that we want to hear from, the people.
I suppose that's fair. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer open roads most of the time. It's safer work. If a war does break out, there is work to be had, but it's much more dangerous.
And what do you do, Spent?
I'm just your general traveling adventurer, sometimes a mercenary, so you can guess where that kind of goes sometimes. I'd prefer to go after treasure rather than bounties, if you know what I mean.
So you're a tomb raider or something?
Sometimes.
But without the short
Some-
shorts.
Some would call me maybe a researcher in some situations, but that's neither here nor there.
All
Some of
right.
the-
Well, if you're not here to convince me to vote one way, and you've gotten all your information, is there anything else I can do for you?
I'm gonna take out a platinum piece and just be like, could I just get your name? I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce. I forgot to ask that. My apologies.
Well, I introduced
and-
myself, but I understand there's a lot of consuls. My name is Diara.
Diaro?
Diara. Like Diana with an R instead of an N.
Okay. I'm just gonna basically ask if it'd be all right for me to stop by from time to time. Just get a little info, and if he knows any Senate members that he has a connection with. That
It's
I can
actually
talk to.
she. She appears to
Oh.
be a wood elf of some sort. She's got like wavy brown hair.
Okay.
Anywho, what were you asking of her? Sorry.
Basically, if I could chat with her again later, just to keep updated, and also if she could introduce me to any senators I could talk to, if she had any close ties to any
She
later.
kind of palms the coin from you and looks around and says, "You're looking for an audience. I can probably introduce you to Mr. Ariesis, the Jewelers Guild senator, if that's what you're into. Perhaps you're trying to influence them more than the consuls. A wise decision. Their influence is a lot more powerful than us. They tend to sway a lot of the consuls belonging to their faction. But
What was the
Who
Merchant
knew?
Guild senator named?
their name is Azaki Ariesis. I will put that in the chat for you. I know you have one of those chat things you tubbers are always talking about. That is their name. It is in the roll
Okay.
20 chat.
I see it. Okay, I'm getting put in my notes. All right.
They are
Thank
the-
you very much.
They are the Jewelers Guild senator. And I'm gonna have you make a general knowledge check, so an intelligence check.
Oh, because that's my average stat. I'm only average in that. It's a skill check, right? I don't get no bonuses.
Yeah, it's just a skill check. You're not really investigating this.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know much about the Senate in general. Its politics has always sort of evaded you. And you just haven't been keeping up, really. So you don't really know the ins and outs of the Senate, other than the fact that there are 10 senators and, like, hundreds of consuls.
It is better to seek out a senator anyway. Okay. All right, I'm gonna thank what was the name again? Diana? Diara again for her time, and just let her know that I appreciate that she takes time to talk with people like us, and I might see if I could get an audience with her later.
Of course.
And appreciate her offer.
Anything for the people. As always, you can find my office in the Hall of Guilds with the other consuls.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, Spend. And she goes off to talk to some other consuls. It looks like they're getting ready to go into a sort of meeting of some sort. Closed doors, though.
Okay. I'm gonna go home first and take a look at my bills and change. We can go to Mao if she wants to do something.
Boom Crash is available now.
Boom Crash
Yeah,
is
are they?
available now.
Well, because I know you have stuff already planned for Boom Crash, so. And we'll figure out the stuff. I'll get your character sheet up maybe, and I can look at it and give you pluses if you.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
Um,
have my physical dice. I can send you photos if you want to check the rolls and shit.
We can just probably roll like in roll 20 because I can control your character too.
Oh,
Okay.
so just tell you what goes on based.
Yeah, okay. I'll just roleplay then.
Yeah, that's fine. So
Traditional style.
How
Uh,
dare you RP in an RPG?
Right?
this is
We're
just a
going
game,
second
not a
edition.
role playing. So Boom Crash, you are you were. What is your next course of events?
Okay, so her like priority list for like right now is pray to the Dark Lady, try and get things squared away there, and depending on how that conversation goes, it'll sort of change how she deals with Egranor at the Arcane College.
Okay.
And then after all of that, she's going to think about how to approach a Taurus.
Okay. So you went home last night, a little buzzed. You didn't really think about praying to the Dark Lady at that point.
I wouldn't do that conversation tipsy.
Yeah.
Seems a little disrespectful.
And in the morning, you tried to sort of invoke the Dark Lady to break Amon's bond to the grave, but she didn't respond. You kind of chalk that up to being in a temple of holiness.
That's fair.
You you kind of head off to find a more private place. It looks like Zumasu's at his apartment, so it's probably not best to go there. Where would you go?
I'm
guess.
grabbing about the news and yelling.
If Zuzu is at the apartment, do we still have Bondre's house?
I think that actually is the technical apartment at the moment.
Oh
'cause-
right, you guys did move there,
Yeah.
so actually,
Yeah, Bonnery's was bigger.
If there's like a basement and he's just in a separate room, she'd be game
Yeah,
for that.
technically
It's
we
either
never
that-
repaired the hole.
It's
It was
either
a hole.
that, or she would go to the Three Ravens and get herself a room.
You can go to the hole.
yeah, you can go
I'm
to
not
Bonner's
fixing
hole.
that.
That's fine. I completely forgot about that. In fact, I don't think Zumasu has an apartment anymore. I think he may have gotten rid of it, and we may have just
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonnery gave me his apartment, so I just took that on.
Yeah, Bonner's
And
is
I
like a
got rid of
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has property, and you had a shithole apartment. We went with the house because you suddenly had two people who didn't have anything and
Yeah,
needed
also-
a place to
also-
crash.
Remember, you guys haven't mowed the lawn, so it's the extra shitty house that we're like.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
great.
This actually adds to the whole I have tons of mail about shit. Damn it, I still owe taxes on the house.
We can pay it now. It's no problem.
It's the principal.
You guys Boom Crash heads to Bonri's place. Zumasu is over at his other apartment, like trying to square those other bills away. So nobody is here right now. Mao is off trying to establish a false identity. Meanwhile, Amon is resurrection sick. So, Boom Crash, you find a quiet, cool place in the basement and begin to reach out to your Dark Lady, Rixali.
Probably light some candles, get in the mood, put my little spell book in front of me, and maybe put some coins and some other shinies that I got from the Underdark and as like an offering, and make it a whole like witchy sort of thing.
That's so Kinku as well. Like, here's some shiny.
I like shinies, so you should like shinies.
Yeah, that's love.
You begin to pray to your Dark Lady. You had lit some candles, but after a while, those blow out,
Excellent.
and you are in the darkness. And you feel a cold, comforting sensation crawl over your body as you hear her voice fairly clearly. Crash, call upon me once more. I can finally see you a bit easier than in the daytime, thanks to your time down below. Darkness. The darkness grows strong with you, my little fledgling. And
Thank you, my lady.
I'm glad that we can finally meet again.
I'm sorry, Chris, you're coming in and out.
I am.
I think you just need to talk louder. I think it's your gate.
My gate? No. Okay.
I can hear it
theater
fine.
whisper. Oh.
I was hearing clipping.
You were hearing clipping?
Opposite of clipping. Well, the opposite of clipping. It was cutting out.
Well, I
Yeah,
lowered the
it's like-
gate
like
a
what?
little, but I'll try and be more stage whispery than actual whispery.
Okay.
She said that her power has grown since you were in the Underdark, and that she is able to see, like, able to contact you even during the day here, topside, even as long as you're, like, in the darkness. She is a being of shadow, you've, of course, always known.
Yeah, but I'm still pretty jazzed and pleased that the connection has grown. So Boom Crash, what she basically is trying to convey is that she wants to apologize for the impact of the memory alteration spell. So she says, "My lady, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to stray from my mission or from anything else. I didn't realize until I was in the Underdark and some things attacked my mind, but there was a memory alteration spell, so I didn't remember how much I cared about you and how committed I am to you. I didn't that was not my intention to stray. I would never do that of my own free will.
Crash, I know you would never dream of straying from me. But you were acting strange. I had to get a little rough with you, and I guess I should apologize as well for that. You always have me, Boom Crash. I will always be there for you.
And I will never. I will do everything in my power to be as loyal and devoted to you as possible. If there is anything you ever need or want from me, anything at all, like, do not hesitate to ask. It would be my joy and pleasure to provide.
Oh, I'm just happy to help. You taking down a Taurus would greatly help me. He is something that is invisible to me, and I'm glad that you are reinvigorated with your vengeance.
He will certainly die.
But I am looking for information. A Taurus is difficult to spy upon, and my minions cannot penetrate his defenses. But you, my dear, can. That is a large portion of what brings me to you.
Anything you need, lady.
Of course. But I'm sure it will come to me just through your actions alone.
May I ask some questions, my lady?
She kind of pauses for a second, says, of course.
He wasn't always a caster. He wasn't always... The Aetors that I knew in the past wasn't able to cast magic. This is new. Is this the source of why you find it difficult to perceive him?
Indeed. He used to just purchase items with his vast resources, but now he has this power all of his own. It's been a while since I've been able to contact you, and my connection to this person waned. I do not know how he has gained this power, but a lot can happen in several decades of inactivity. He's had plenty of time to learn.
Okay. Okay,
But with me, I'm sure that you can overcome his power. It's just a matter of disturbance.
Strategic application.
Indeed. You understand.
Of course. So would you prefer me to be more patient and infiltrate, or would you prefer a more direct assassination?
I'm glad that you're invigorated, and you will have your vengeance. But I would have you find information, anything that you can find that could implicate him, anything suspicious, and inform me. But if you should kill him, that is of no consequence to me. Just make sure you do a thorough investigation once the deed is done.
Understood. And I have one more question, and this is absolutely at your discretion, and I will obey you in anything. Would I be permitted to learn more spells for the spell book that you have given me? I don't want to limit or squander the gift of your power, and I know that your restriction was a reflection on my seeming loss of my way to you because of the memory spell. But now that that's gone, may I resume my studies, or would you prefer me to show my loyalty by not learning anymore?
My dear, you don't need to learn a thing. This tome that I have given you, and the book that was sort of strewn about in your sort of witchy arrangement flies open, passing by the pages that you have put within it. These are just simple things, an ease that I have given you. It's nothing but a wave of your hand to draw these into your tome of shadows and learn them for your own. You don't need to bother your head with book learning and whatnot. Just use the spells that you draw into this book.
Of course, of course. But may I add more? I think I might be able to get teleportation ritual magic, which could be useful for infiltrating a Taurus. But again, this is completely at your discretion. I will obey whatever mandate you give me.
My dear, you don't need to learn things. You have me. You have
Of
my
course.
power.
Abuser.
You have to trust it.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway,
thank you.
my
Thank you
power-
for listening.
My power is beginning to fade. I will talk to you again some other time. Remember, Boomcrash, I'm there for you.
Anything for you, my lady.
Of course.
This relationship sucks. All our relationships
Oh,
sucks.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
The candles light again. It seems that they were never blown out. Darkness just overcame this area. We're able to see
You
through
wanna
it.
try? You wanna trade gods?
Make that argument, but Boomcrash is not likely to listen.
It was more of a joke. It's just like I don't like this.
Gods are dicks. Didn't you all know?
Yeah.
No, that's why we're
yeah,
in this. That's why we're in this predicament in the first place.
So,
yeah.
Boomcrash, you close up your little book of shadows. You look over the stuff that has been copied in. From your ritual spells that you've learned through this ability, at least the ones from your Tome of Shadows, those were just sort of added by your patron through her
Okay.
power. You didn't physically need to copy them in. The ones that were the ones that you learned from Juliana, the ritual spells that
Yeah.
you've learned on your own, and you kind of look at them with a bit of longing, recalling Juliana's handwriting in the back of the book, where you've gotten some notes in the margins and whatnot. You head upstairs where
Cute
you've
little
deposited
annotations.
your stuff, and you kind of look over at the homework that Edgrenor had given to you. It was somewhat completed, but there was still a lot to do.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, honestly, what she would probably do is that, that's interesting. She'd probably go to Edgrenor and be like, hey, this is what I completed, but I still want to, have a dynamic with you, but I can't study with you anymore.
Okay, well, you
I'm
can...
dropping out.
dropping out of college. Well, you can
Dropping out,
certainly go
fuck
do
yes.
that. The Arcane College is nothing but a few steps away. You look at your books, and you kind of just look up into the ceiling, and then just sigh to yourself and grab up the books into your bag, then head off out into the city. You eventually make your way to the Arcane College. And yeah. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, it did work. You head to the Arcane Seat. Heading within its doors, you see the sort of prismatic banners of all of the different schools of magic. You see the Hogwartsian sort of display of wizards going about their day in this first library room, with crystalline stairs going up into the second and third stories of this building. You head up towards Edgrenor's office. You think you see somebody that you knew, but you just kind of shake it off. You're on a mission. You're dropping out. No need for attachments. And then you make your way over to the doorway where you know Edgrenor is. It's oop. On a second. I will. There we go. Okay. So you head down the hallway to the door, and you knock upon it, and you hear a voice within. Come in, please. And you open up the door, and Edgrenor is there at his desk. I will describe the room to you presently. The room is very crowded. There's countless shelves that are stacked with old tomes. They're filled with all manner of ancient-looking artifacts, many with a noticeably macabre theme of death about them. His expensive-looking desk has been treated poorly, its varnish flaking off in scuffs and scrapes speckling its edges. Upon his desk are scrollworks of students, their lack of finesse apparent in their glyph work now that you've become familiar with such things. Dominating his desk is what seems to be an ogre's skull, carved with red runes and topped with several red candles, all melted into one. They burn and shed the room in careful light. The wizard's appearance is as you remember it. Edgrenor wears a black robe indicative of his specialty. There's silver lacing embroidering skulls and other necromantic symbols over his hood and draping sleeves. He has a fiery ruby that's peering out from an iron amulet around his neck, shaped like an eye with outward-pointing spikes, and his staff is resting beside him next to a chair that he's sitting in. It's topped with what you assume is an ethically sourced skull of a horned animal of some sort.
Ethically sourced.
He looks up to you
That's why.
and says, Boomcrash, have you finished your work? I was beginning to doubt that you would return.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm typing one thing into chat.
Is this in Roll20 or is this in Discord?
This is in Discord. Yeah, sorry. It's just
Oh, cool.
You got it. You good.
Yeah,
Took a
because
picture of it.
this is all through my phone, so
That's fine.
I kind of have to switch things out because I don't have like a big screen and a keyboard.
That is fine. This is going well.
Okay. Okay, so basically, like, because this is like her whole story is like just more and more abuse, the only way that she would be able to get out of this super healthy relationship with her god is if she was like definitely reassured that she could murder a Taurus on her own strength without using the Dark Lady at all. Um, it would it's gonna take some convincing because she's a little insane right now. But anyway, she sort of walks up to Edgrenor and she's like, "Yeah, hey Edgrenor. Yeah, I just got back from an Underdark job that got kind of gnarly, but
You did tell me
hey,
you were leaving. Did you finish the work?
I got some of it done, but here's the thing. I was given a not so subtle command that I needed to drop playing here and focus on my mission. So, thank you so much for the mentorship and for showing me all of this really cool shit.
Where's this coming from, Boomcrash? I thought that you wanted to learn a new path.
I mean, I would love to. However, like, because I mean, I'm certainly curious. I would definitely love to learn more stuff, but ultimately, I have one purpose, and I need to follow that through. And the one person who has been with me through the darkest of times is my patron. And she wants me to do one thing, and I want to do the same thing, and that's what I have to do. And she doesn't want me to be here anymore, and I need to respect that. She's been too good to me. She's lifted me up from complete ruination. I can't abandon her. So
Boom
here's the
crash.
work that I've done.
You place it on his desk. I thought you were serious about changing your
I was,
way.
but now it's so
Boom crash. If
okay.
I may, there aren't any easy paths to independence. This is on you. You have to want to try and change. Other people have to work hard and toil and study. You can't just accept on good faith that this admittedly dark power has your best interests at heart, that it wants to give you power without a catch. You've got to cast off this shackle of a patron of yours and start learning the right way to do things.
Okay, but
But
So-
it's so easy though.
uh, but
He starts like
the
looking
thing
over
that
your
she
work.
the
Sorry.
thing that she wants from me is the exact thing that I want. It's the only thing. This bastard cast a fucking change memory spell on me and tried to completely rewrite my life. And I can't forgive that. I need to kill him. I need revenge.
Memory wipe
So
spell.
much pain.
Well, that's illegal here in Allure, not without
Well,
a
no shit.
permit. Can't you just simply go to the authorities?
No. This particular person is a little bit too well connected. They're
There are corruptions in this place, I know.
I bring out with Edgrenor, I bring out the collection of newspaper articles and keepsakes from my old flock.
What's all
And-
this?
Okay, so kind of a long story, but I'm over 130 years old, which you might know is kind of beyond the lifespan of a Kenku. And that's because I was in a cave and got petrified by a Medusa. And then I woke up and suddenly it was this time and everything is different and there's suddenly a huge crater in Allure and everything has changed and there's a war going on and I don't know, but I used to be from Allure. I used to work for a merchant in Allure and my family, my flock, everything was here. We used to hang out at the Three Ravens. We were why it was called the Three Ravens. And all of a sudden, the relationship soured and I had to flee and my entire family was besmirched and hunted down and used as a scapegoat and killed. These people, these friends, didn't deserve what happened to them, and he did it. He did it all. I mean, he even took a chunk out of my beak. Like, he's a real bastard. And then all of a sudden, sometime in the last 100 or so years, he learned to become a very powerful sorcerer or magic or wizard or whatever the fuck, and tried to alter my memory so I didn't remember any of it.
And you freed yourself from this.
Yeah, because there's some weird alien brain-eating creatures in the Underdark, and they hit me, and that sort of shook everything loose.
You're talking of mind flayers, or?
I ran into a dude who was looking for some mind flayers. No, they similar sort of thing, but not those guys. There was a huge brain. There was just a giant fucking brain. It was the Underdark is fucking weird, dude.
Boom crash, and he gets up and puts down the papers. It's clear that your power has grown. Almost astonishingly so, from your trip in the Underdark. I know that vengeance is a powerful thing, calls to you and you feel like you need to act upon it. But trust me, you don't need to. This
Oh.
power that you've gotten, it's not the work of study. You and I both know this. I think, and you may not even realize it, that patron is probably getting into your mind. They tend to do that with this sort of connection. Eldritch power is not something you should be toying with and letting yourself go away with. You have to trust me, it's dangerous.
If
You should
he
abandon
dies,
this
I'm
now.
okay with dying. It's right for him to suffer for what he's done.
I know it
He's-
feels like that, I know. But please find it within yourself to listen to me. Boom
She's
crash.
listening and she's confused.
Boom Crash, you are sort of getting conflicted, it seems like.
A
As
little bit, because it's ringing a bell, the parallels between abusive relationship with a Taurus with abusive relationship with Dark Lady. Like,
Spook.
she's getting a little spooked because she doesn't want to get used again.
in this moment of faith, as you're wondering whether or not this Edgrenor wants to use you in a similar way,
Yeah,
You-
she's getting a little suspicious.
you start to, like, backpedal just one step, and then you hear a voice within your head again. Boom Crash. You cannot trust this man. It's to take away the power I've given to you. Be able to do what you want to do. And you kind of, like, shake your head as you realize that your Dark Lady is talking to you in this moment, in spite of the dim candlelight here. And Edgar just kind of says, Boom Crash, I know that Look, I'm talking to you, this is important, Wait a minute. Is it here? Is it here right now? Is it talking to you?
She's sort of like, her eyes are darting from him to the candle to the side, and she's non-verbal, but
This man's powers are weak compared to mine. Boom Crash, you can't get your revenge without my help. Boom Crash, whatever she's saying to you, it's not true. Don't listen to her. This is what they do. They try to get into your head. You can't let her make you reliant on her. Whatever she's saying to you, it's not true. You have to know this. Hear a voice within your head once more.
oh,
Boom
no,
Crash.
this is awful.
Yeah, it is.
Who
It
came
is
to
pretty
you?
much that.
Who came to you, Boom Crash, when you needed help? Your flock? They died trying to take down a Taurus, because they didn't have my power. You survived because of me. In the Underdark, who gave you the power to overcome every obstacle? I did. If this old man has his way, you will be powerless once more. Just a mere Kenku. No powers. Nothing. Edgrenor can clearly see that something is going on with you. You clutch your head and fall to your knees as a wave of shadows starts to overtake you. Edgrenor crouches and puts his hands on your shoulders. Boom Crash, stay with me. I'm still here. Whatever she's saying, you just have to ignore it. Fight her and we can work through this together. Boom
Oh,
Crash,
God.
I'm gonna
okay.
need you to make, and I will do it for you due to the nature of the fact that you are DC'd.
I can't roll shit.
I'm gonna have you make a wisdom saving throw.
Just gonna
Aw.
watch with.
A 23.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit.
I mean, you have +7 for wisdom save. Jesus.
The shadows begin to calm a bit, but then you hear Rixali once more. A Taurus betrayed you. Boom Crash, all mortals betray you at one point or another. Your flock failed you. The trekkers in the Underdark, they just got in your way, and your friends, Zumasu, he's gonna just turn you in at some point. Juliana wants to turn you away from me, from my path to your victory. They want to destroy you for what you are, a warlock. And I am the only one who unconditionally loves you, no matter what you do, Boom Crash. Don't you love your dark lady, Boom Crash? You hear Edgranor's voice, but now it's just a muffled shout. You can't make out what he's saying. Boom Crash, show me that you love me.
My flock, my friends, they loved me for me.
Cacaw, yeah, cacaw.
Cacaw. If I asked my friend, Mao, to kill a Taurus for me, she would do so.
Hell yeah.
Zumasu has saved my life more than once. He has cuddled me when I was sleeping, and would think it was wrong that someone tried to change my memory. He's my flock. Amon, who has saved my bacon so many times, is worth my protection with everything that I can. And even if that means I can't protect him as well anymore, then fuck it, fine.
I'm gonna have you make a new wisdom save.
My
It's gonna go
heart.
badly.
This is
Oh,
gonna
no.
go so badly.
Boom Crash, you say this, and you don't know if Edgranor can hear you. You're just sort of shouting it out loud to yourself.
Oh, crazy.
And Mixali says, no,
Oh shit.
no,
Uh-oh.
no. Fine. Want me to be the bad guy? I can fill that role.
Oh no.
Boom Crash, your body clenches. Your talons are gripped so tight that blood begins to flow. Your eyes are glazed over in darkness with no reflection in sight. Edgranor's candles go out. The room is shrouded in inky, magical darkness. He backs away from you. You see him in this pitch black, staring at you, bewildered. A darker shadow, even darker than this magical dark, drips and wisps from your frilled feathers. You open your mouth to protest, but another voice emerges. This is my fledgling necromancer. You will not take her from me! And you unleash a powerful eldritch blast from both of your talons, which soars
shit.
towards your teacher. He raises a magical ward in response, but let's roll some attacks.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh no!
Chris said he cried today when he wrote all this. I just wanted to throw that out there. I've been like watching him to see if he's tearing up yet.
You launch 4 eldritch blasts towards Edgranor. In spite of his magical ward, 2 of them still go through, and he is bludgeoned into his glass cabinet behind him. Several bones like spilled out from it, and tomes are like flying around the room now. He is going to take just a mere 15 damage.
Okay.
And at this point, the room is now filled with a powerful inky darkness. You are spilling over with dark power. It is
Gross.
positively dripping from you.
Is this like an Akira moment sort of thing?
It seems to be.
Oh jeez.
We're gonna roll for initiative.
Oh fuck. I
This
really
is
hope
Kingdom
that
Hearts.
Edgranor is as much of a badass as I hope he is, or that somebody hears.
This is a goddamn Kingdom Hearts cutscene.
Nani?
Oh dang, I can't find my button.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of darkness, so darkness, friendship,
Attack
darkness.
the darkness. Yeah, friendship, love, darkness.
We haven't said heart.
I mean, her heart is her flock and her friends. She loves you guys.
Blit.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry, I
Sora,
was just
you're
looking
still-
at mail.
Man, I got bills to pay. Wonder what
My
Boom
life
Crash is
so
up to.
hard. My life is so hard.
Man, just life in general, man.
Those damn three freeloaders thinking that this all just grows on trees.
Okay, Boom Crash, you actually have the first of the round, and you, right now, are infused with Eldritch Might. It is filling you like a drug, with a sort of power high unlike any you've felt before. In spite of yourself, you start laughing as you rise off the ground, levitating in place. You unleash another Eldritch Blast as you approach Edgrenor. His wards are already starting to tire. You're going to unleash another 4 Eldritch Blasts at him.
Holy shit.
Creepy bird.
She's maxing out my attack. This is insane.
Yeah, this is the power that you could wield. 3 hits for Edgrenor.
Uh-oh. Oh, poor guy.
He's gonna take 31 damage.
Okay. He's a necromancer. He can bring me back. He needs to just nuke me.
Eh.
It is Edgrenor's turn.
Please kill her. I never thought I'd say this because Boom Crash is my baby, but I give you permission to kill her.
Edgrenor gets up from his fallen place on the ground. Boom Crash, it seems hopeless, but you have to keep fighting. I know you can hear me. And you just open your mouth and say, "Silence, wizard." But Edgrenor is going to try and cast another spell. He has a lot. Hold on a second. He is going to try and use Hold Person on you. Actually, no. He's going to try a Scorching Ray. He knows you can take it. He knows you're tough.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I'd also be completely okay if Boom Crash died in this last attempt to exert free will.
and he's
Like,
going to
that's
upcast
okay.
it.
Okay, good.
It's going to be cast at 5th level, so that's going to be a total of 6 beams. So he actually needs to make several attacks here. I closed it. Okay. That's a lot of misses.
Shit!
6 rays, and 3 of them hit for 6d6 damage. So I will do that.
That's like a fireball, though.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean it's
that's
pretty.
good.
It's pretty a lot. It's 18. It's not 31.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
Wait,
unleashes.
was that the number we kept on getting before?
I don't remember. He launches this scorching ray at you. Several beams of fire come out from his palm, sort of in the shroud guise of little imps flying towards you, in his own sort of necromantic spin on it. He ends his turn. Boom Crash, you sort of float towards him, your toes tracing along the ground, and you speak. "I will choke your last breath from your withered corpse, you old fool." And power begins to surge through you, and you cast telekinesis,
Oh,
causing
no.
a giant black hand, a talon even, to race towards him. It slams into him and begins to squeeze on his throat. He is surrounded in darkness as he tries to grip uselessly at the shadows, choking at his throat.
Can Boom Crash fight this at all?
I'm
or
going to
is
need
she
you to
already
make
done?
a wisdom saving throw as this point, as you
Okay.
begin to choke him out. You're not on still, right? Okay.
Yeah, I have no internet. I'm sorry.
You have gotten a 24. We will
Sweet.
try to oppose it, because at this point, it's no longer a pass or fail. Do.
Oh,
Change the
fuck
dice.
yeah! I think I might be back on.
Oh, are you?
Nice.
Maybe.
I don't see you
Okay.
in the roll 20 yet, but maybe. Oh, you have just appeared.
There you are.
Okay. So it looks like you have succeeded add one of your saves. You begin to like telekinetically grip him, but some of you like comes back and you shake your head as Edgrenor looks up to you through his choking throat. Artifacts are like flying on the ground as papers are like being shredded by like this magical energy flowing off of you. Boom Crash, you have to fight it. You have to let me help you. And something is coming back to you. You will cast telekinesis though. You will resolve this. Which I just need to recall. I think it's a spellcasting check against his strength.
Okay, hold on. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, rock on.
Yeah, he is not a strong man.
Yeah, nor am I. So spellcast check. So that would be an Arcana?
It would be
No.
charisma for you. It's
Okay.
your spell. You make an ability check with your spellcasting ability. So yes, you are still holding Edgrenor in your grip, but your mind starts to come to you a bit more.
Can I shift it from Edgrenor to myself?
On your next turn, you may.
Okay.
Edgrenor's turn comes around again. He is caught in this grip, and he is going to...
Kill me. I tell him to kill me with whatever will I have.
Your will comes back for an instant, and you choke out this breath. Kill me. Just kill me. And then it overtakes you once more. Edgrenor is scrambling desperately for something to do. Let me look at things. So... Edgrenor, as you start to loosen your grip from this, he's going to try and get free. He's going to make... Actually, he's just going to dispel your spell. So
Good.
he is going to start weaving around some wizardy incantations, tracing runes in the air with his free hands until your shadowy power just dissipates. And he drops to the ground, clutching his throat. He is going to end his turn. And then it is you again. I'm going to need you to make another wisdom save.
Okay, save.
Oof. The grip that Rixali has on you is starting to fade. Your feet plant on the ground, but you are still suffused with power, and it is just overtaking you.
So I can't, like,
you
level a
have-
witch bolt at myself?
It doesn't seem like you're in control of your actions quite yet.
Okay.
One more success, and you might get there.
Okay.
But she is starting to break free as you are starting to come to a realization that she might not have your best interests at heart.
Yeah.
She... You think?
It's fine. Let it be.
Edgrenor gets up. Boom Crash, are you with me? And then you
Not
kind
quite.
of...
Kill me. Kill me. Take me out.
As you say this, you shake your head once more, and then you begin floating again. No. No. You will die this day, wizard. Edgrenor stands up. You all want the same thing. And you will not take it from this poor creature. I will not allow another person to make the same mistakes that I did. And he steps towards you, and he unleashes an Eldritch Blast at you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
4 Eldritch Blasts surge forth from his hand, concentrated in a beam, and it looks like 2 of them hit you for 21 force damage. And Edgrenor takes a step towards you. It is now your turn. I'm going to need you to make... Yeah, your turn. And I'm going to need you to make another wisdom saving throw. Okay. That one's pretty close. The other ones I didn't bother rolling.
Shit.
It looks like she still has a grip upon you. You are astonished by this sudden turn of events as you are blasted with eldritch energy that looks kind of twinged with a red taint. But you cast another spell at him. You hold up your hands and begin to channel a witch bolt with
Oh,
all of your
fuck.
might. Make a spell attack against him.
Okay. I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast him because
That's fair, for
all I
the-
got.
Oh,
Shit!
good job.
God damn it! Why can I?
Damn.
I can never do this well when I actually want to.
Roll
Is that our curse?
roll 5d12s of lightning damage.
God fucking damn it! 5, 1, 2, 3, 5.
That's like always been our curse, especially from college. Whenever it matters, it never works.
Yeah. And because I hit, it's this much every single turn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He takes 28 damage
That's
as
a lot
the
of
lightning
damage.
begins to overtake him. But actually, it's not as much damage as I would have hoped. He seems to be resilient to this type of damage. As he is
Lucky.
crackling with electricity, he manages to stay on his feet, although his knees are shaking.
Wait, is this like Force Lightning?
Kind
This is
of.
a Jedi
That's
Master?
what Witch Bolt is.
Oh Jesus! So it is Sith powers versus the Jedi.
I have not needed to call upon this power for some time, but it is worth it. It will be worth it. Boom Crash, let me help you. And he holds up his hand to his chest and snaps the necklace upon his chest and holds it up out towards you. Come, just let me get closer. And he is going to try and see if you can fight your way through this. You have to want it. You have to let me do this. And I'm going to need you to make a new wisdom save
Wisdom save against Rixali or against Edgrenor?
against Rixali.
Okay. Damn it. Shit.
Yep, we're going to need to roll against this one.
Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Never. Pathetic beast. Her grip is tightening even further upon you. Boom Crash, you continue your assault. Continue to deal 5d10 or 5d12 damage to him.
Okay, roll there. Sorry.
We'll use the first one, which is halved to 16 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he is looking pretty rough as he is fighting through the lightning. It looks like he is no longer trying to resist as much. He is going to try and grapple you. I'm going to need you to make an opposed strength check
Big
Oh,
hug.
thank
as
God.
he reacts.
Hug check.
Thankfully, you
Okay.
both suck at this.
Okay, ability check, strength. Fuck.
Yeah.
You blast him away with a bit of Eldritch Might. And it is his
God
turn
damn
now.
it. I'm really mad at this.
He is going to unleash another Eldritch Blast in an attempt to weaken you.
Okay. Come on, boy. Kick my ass.
He gets 3 hits for... That is 26 force damage.
Okay, good.
Boom Crash, just listen to my voice, follow my voice. You can do this. Make another
Okay.
wisdom save.
18. Okay, she's hurt, so this is good. Okay, saving roll.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a number that Rixali cannot technically beat right now, so I'm not going to bother to roll. As you are blasted, you are knocked down to the ground once more, and you kind of like shake your head and get up. The magic is still pulsing through you, and you look up at Egrenor, and as much as you wanted him to kill you, now you're only asking for help. Please help me.
Help me.
You end your concentration on the witch bolt,
Mm-hmm.
but then the power starts to surge through you once more. As Egrenor takes a step towards you, you...
Can I do one more thing?
What
Can
would you
I
like to
throw
try
him
to
a
do?
heal? I would like to throw him a healing potion.
Unfortunately, that is not within your powers.
Damn.
You
Can
hold
I-
up your
I
talon.
can't aim anything at myself. Damn it.
You hold up your talon, and in an Emperor Palpatine sort of move, overtaken by Rixali once more, and she goes, "Die!" And you unleash another spell, which normally you can only use 2, but another spell
I have
comes.
the bonus for the third. for
Oh,
the
yes.
Staff.
Well, either way, it's not the staff doing it.
Oh,
It is just her power. And you attempt to hex Egrenor. And as your curse starts to wrap around Egrenor, it spirals around him and then surges in towards the amulet that he's holding and is contained. That doesn't work on me, witch. And it is his turn. He's going to try and grapple you again. Make a strength check.
Can I choose to fail?
At this point, I'm going to give you disadvantage
Okay.
because you're fighting her.
Okay. I'll check. Ability check strength. Okay.
Disadvantage, you both have gotten a 10. I'm going to have us re-roll.
Okay. Fuck.
You are unfortunately able to fight off Egrenor, but
Seriously?
yeah,
Can he have advantage on that one and I can have disadvantage?
it wasn't that much of a swing. But at this point, the room is starting to swarm. You see that there are shadowy figures spiraling around you in the room. They take the shape of humanoid figures with bat wings and horns, but they are pitch black, completely composed of shadow, with claws outstretched. They are all spiraling closer towards you and Egrenor, threatening to overtake the entire situation.
Not him, please, no.
I'm gonna need you to make wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fuck.
You can do it. You believe in
You've
you.
stopped the witch bolt. Okay, that is pretty good.
You got this.
Yes!
Finally, the swarming demons are spinning around the room and threatening to close in upon you guys. You see Edgrenor's face, a mixture of pain and worry, and blood is like coming out from his hood and dripping upon you. And you have a moment of not just relent, but of will. And you cast out Rixali for the briefest of moments. Far stronger of a moment than was before. And you say, whatever you're gonna do it now. And Edgrenor pushes this amulet into your chest. And you feel the shadows surge through you, as if this drug that's been suffusing you for the entirety of your life begins to be drawn out of you in one fell swoop.
Ouch.
It is pushing up through you as you open your mouth and shriek. Shadows are bursting out towards the ceiling as these demons follow it up into the sky. Feel pins and needles cover your entire body until your eyes close, and everything goes black. That's gonna end combat.
Yay!
Yay!
So,
Go away,
Jeez.
Eleanor! Even
so
though sometimes
Zumasu,
it's
you're doing
probably
taxes?
I'm checking my mail.
So, let's go to Zumasu.
Okay.
Okay.
woo.
Here's
Truly
the
the
mail, it
greatest.
never fails.
Okay, specifically though, there was a sort of logic to this though.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to see if the person billed me for the keep. I want to know the progress because I figure I would have got an update eventually.
Okay.
And I also want to see the situation on the. I thought I ended my lease, so I need to see how to end my lease for this place since I have Bonry's place and change the deed over properly. I need to go update my address forms and that shit, properly.
Okay. So you look through your mail, and it seems that you do owe some amount of money. It looks like they're going to be coming after you in a bit, but they're still just sending mail for now. It seems like you owe 20 gold pieces for your apartment. It seems as if all of the taxes on the home have not been due yet. Those are more of a yearly thing, so they haven't
Sweet.
done anything for the home. Bonry had already paid off the home. It was his.
Sweet.
So
Thanks, little
this
guy.
delighting
Who is
bit
you?
of news that you only owe 20 gold pieces and that the house doesn't owe any taxes, you kind of like get a little giddy clip in your step like, aha, nice. And you head off to the taxman to go pay your taxes as a good
Can I
little
also
boy.
get rid of my lease then? Because I don't really need the building anymore. Just tell them I'm ending it at the end of the month and move my shit out.
Yeah, you head down and happily go to the landlord and just like open up the door, and they're like sitting at the table like smoking a cigar, and they go, Zumasu, your rent's been due for. I'm leaving, and you slam the door.
I drop him. I put
Okay.
the. I will try to chat to Lucy. I'll just leave the gold pieces on the thing and just be like, I'm leaving. See ya. And I throw the gold pieces on the table.
All right, that's one apartment out of my head. Goes back to his reading his paper and smoking on his pipe.
Is there any news from the builder lady? Whatever dwarven.
Cragmaker.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's what I'm interested in. Because I also have a bill from her probably due.
I will have to get to that.
Okay, we'll just say that for later.
Yeah. So Mao, what have you been up to this fine day?
This fine day, I'm probably gonna go visit Biff.
All right. You head off to Biff's apartment, where at least you remember it was.
He's supposed to have been laying low. I just don't know how low he's been laying. It's been a while.
So you head off to Biff's place, and try and get your way in there. You were able to easily pick the lock, but it looks like he's added a few more locks, so it's a little more tiresome to get in. Once you get inside, you see Biff, and he's got a dagger, and he goes to like stab you immediately, but you are easily able to stop him and just twist his arm behind his back. It's you. I thought that you might have been someone else.
Have you had problems? I thought you were supposed to be laying low, according to our agreement.
I was laying low, but then someone was breaking into my apartment.
As in me right now, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Just making sure it wasn't somebody else.
Okay. What do you want?
Just checking in. I'm going to. We just came back and need to figure out what's going on. I figured you've probably been laying low, so I'm gonna take over your identity for like another week.
Oh, not again.
If you want, I'd literally drop him like 5 platinum pieces.
Oh, damn. That is such a flex.
Look, you're getting paid to do nothing. Are you bored? Is the COVID getting to you? For being cooped up in the house?
I can can lay low for a few days, I think. How long do you need?
At least a week for now, and then afterward, you should be good to go. And I won't bother you as much for this sort of situation. I might say hi. We might be friends and working in the same place. Who knows?
All right. Got some friends on a farm. I'll see myself out. I'll see if I can make some use of these. And he picks up the coins and puts them into his pouch. Pleasure doing business with you. I forgot how nice it was working for you. And then he closes the door and just happily strides on out. Looks like he's leaving the city for a week.
Nice. I love how money talks. So now I have his home. This is gonna be my little hidey hole now. I live here.
Yeah, it could use some tidying up. Biff is not the best in general.
If Biff is not the best in general, then neither is Mao. She's gonna keep looking like Biff.
You tip your
including his
cap
mess.
and turn into Biff and look around the place and just look at this place you've conquered. Just nod to yourself. It's time to get some stuff done. Meanwhile, boom crash. You awaken on a little couch in another room in the arcane seat. Edgrenor is looking over you. So you're with me
Hi.
then.
Take some healing potions, just in case she comes back and
It's
you need to fight me again.
no, shh. No need to worry about that.
Please, just take a healing potion. It'll make me feel better. I fuss.
He takes the
this is
healing
what
potion
I do.
and he just puts it aside. I'm fine.
Drink the fucking healing potion.
Boom crash, she can't hurt you. Then he kind of holds up a little amulet that is now around your neck. It was the one that was around his. And he says, you're gonna need this more than I do at this point. I've learned to quiet the voices, but this will help keep her away from you for a time. That power that you have, it's your own. She gave it to you. She doesn't have any power over you. Not really. It's your own choices. If she had power more than you, she wouldn't need you. Someone told that to me long ago. And, well, now I work for him. Here at the college. And wanted to do the same for someone I saw was probably hurting.
Thank you.
I was a warlock like you. I was once under the thrall of a being known as Orcus, a demon of undeath
Oh
and fire.
shit!
But
Big boy.
Out of all the things to have a patron of, Jesus Christ.
I was very powerful. I once even sought to march upon Allure in my hubris, but I was brought low by the wizards of the arcane seat who had banded against me. And the headmaster took pity on me. He took me in. He forged this amulet, which took a long time to do. Very long time. I was imprisoned here in stasis for a long time, while it was under construction, and he trusted me to become the head necromancer here. He saw my power and saw that I could do some good. I know it's not the most comfy of magics. Many people here still fear me, even the other teachers.
Okay, Snape.
But I've come a long way. I hope that you will too.
Thank
Rest.
you. I'm sorry I didn't finish my homework.
Stop being sorry.
And drink the
rest.
fucking potion.
I've already taken a few.
Okay, good.
He puts the potion back in your hands and kind of pats your talon over it and gets up to leave. I'll be in the next room if you need me. And he closes the door
I guess
behind
I'm
him.
on nap time duty right now.
Yeah, you're still recovering, but you fall back to sleep short order, and you don't feel cold or anything or afraid of the dark that comes behind your eyes, but you kind of have a good night's sleep for once. And that's where we're gonna end it today.
Holy shit!
Oh, it's midnight. The fuck.
Damn. So we saved 2 characters from terrible patrons in a way.
At least one.
I mean, technically he's alive and isn't there right now. He just has to figure out how to fix it later.
Hmm.
So, okay, I got money. I guys, how do you? This is more of a kind of like pseudo in character, out of character, but I just want to do it. How do you guys feel about going to Connacht again?
I
In
mean,
character, I'm trying to figure out how to make sure my city is safe and settle my stuff.
Boom Crash is gonna want to cling to people right now. So
Okay.
she's gonna be wherever y'all are, and she's
Okay,
probably also gonna
let's
want to stick with Egrenor.
let's think of it this way. What's the next mission?
I probably would ask to see if we could visit Maria's outpost eventually to also just see how the war front's going, because I'm also trying to research what's causing the tensions also. So maybe eventually I want to go Connacht for my own research, but the tempo of this
That's
thing says
not an
no.
immediate thing. I'm talking about like as soon as I get out.
We
what
could
is the-
visit my keep.
Yeah, that's probably something that's gonna need to still get done is visiting your keep.
Okay.
I need to get to what the builder has sent you.
That also somewhat relates to Boom Crash because of the whole. I technically owe a Taurus money.
Yeah, because a
Mm.
Taurus funded the rest of the keep that you guys
So-
couldn't pay for.
So I want to kind of get back my shares of it and get him out of the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, Canuck is interesting to Mao, but only after she's done a bit more research to figure out how the cult's connected to the vintners.
Yeah, Mao is probably Mao has expressed that she wants to establish some identities in this city to start getting more information, especially on the vintners. Boom Crash, it seems, has issues.
Does this mean she's a wizard now, but has to slow gain back her powers, or what?
Yeah, that's gonna be the question.
Oh,
Like,
Or
what can she do?
Can a cleric? Okay, I have a question about when it comes to patrons. Could she be a warlock with a deity patron?
Yes, there is actually a divine thing.
There is.
Huh.
We may have to discuss off of this what
Yeah.
you want to do with Boom Crash.
Yeah. I don't know.
But otherwise, immediate plans seem like go to Galestone, check in, and
Still have
then
to check in with my.
Zumasu, I will tell you that that outpost of Maria's is somewhere in the Scablands, and it's somewhere in proximity of like Connacht and New Dawn. It's fairly
Yeah.
close to Allure. You could probably feasibly go there on the way to Connacht if Amon is itching to go there. Also, that many sessions will probably give me enough time to make sure that
Okay,
Connacht is a place you can go to.
So
To-
Connacht is more of a just an immediate speculation type thing. Mostly because my goal is this. My objective is locate the other Scar ones, and I might need to help a wizard because I don't have the spells for it. What I need to do is somehow separate them from the afterlife, which may mean that I might need to do the evil thing of just completely robbing them of their souls and putting in a jar.
Oh dear. Amon, you have
Oh.
the best intentions and the worst ways of doing it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still not a good person by any stretch of the imagination.
We just happen to be on your good side for the moment.
So my initial
Definitely
goal
you
was to kill all that's evil. Now is to preserve all through evil means. Like I have not become good by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, if
And-
anything, this has just twisted your worldview. Well, that's good to know. So, immediate plans, Galestone, that place called Urzark, then Connacht, and don't die, I guess.
Yeah.
which you're doing a fairly good job at so far. So we will see you
We're
all
2 for
next
2
time.
so far.
Next Sunday, does anybody have any conflicts?
I'm here.
I'm still stuck inside.
Well, you and your damn internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm calling. They had me on hold for a fucking hour. So I'm going to call tomorrow, and I'm also going to call Frontier and see what deals they got for me.
All right. Well, we will then see each other next Sunday, the 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So thanks
All right.
everybody that came
Alright.
out to watch, and we will see you all then. Have a good one.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.